Good morning, everybody. How are you today? I hope you're all having a wonderful Monday evening. We almost didn't have a stream today. I had to restart my router twice because the internet was it was awful. It was really bad. It was dropping out every 5 seconds, and when it was working, it was slow. So I was worried there. I had to restart it a few times and mess with my PC a bit, but it's good now. It should be good now. Should be good. So fingers crossed we won't have any more issues today. Yeah. So how are we doing? Let me say hello to everybody. Who do we have today? We have. Let me get closer. There we go. Red Black. How we doing? Sergio, CC, Othman, Sekat, Holly Predator. Sorry, just had to mess with my aircon a bit. Blasting right in my eyes there. My eye holes. Kitten Snacks, how we doing? Dark Heart, how we doing? Crow, Media Breakdown, The Real Cracker. The Real Cracker, we don't have any fakes here. Craig P, how we doing? Matthew Scala, Vince Dude, Fortnite. Fortnite. Bombsy Q, how we doing? Sex Haver, Rebel Wolf, Raspberry Knockwhat, Boopus Noopus the Crate. Professor Virus, how we doing? Crow. Watching the stream while making a More Day plush during work. King of multitasking. Oh, wow. Yeah, I saw that picture you posted in the Discord. That looks sick. Plushies are like, I have another friend, my friend Bar, who did my my Neil They Duke PNG. She makes plushies sometimes too, and it's just like, it's one of those things where I look at it, I'm just like, wow, how do you even do that? That's amazing. Voduke, how we doing? Depot Agents. Who's we got? Gem Domingo, how we doing? Najugeet, how we doing? Where's my arm? It got cut off. Don't worry about it. It happens. Edoris, Neebnabs, Gustavo Pacheco, how we doing? God, if you're in Hungary, eat your arm. Not yet, thankfully. Media Breakdown. Wait, did I say hello to you? I think I did. You get to today. Desp, how we doing? Not Gorov. Professor Virus, Dark Heart, Logic, EA. How we doing? Adele, Inner Science, John Smith, our good friend John Smith, Caleb Storm, how we doing? Clown Nose. And is that everybody? And More They Cat, how we doing? First time watching you. Thank you for introducing me to this awesome game. I'm glad I get to inflict it on another person. But thanks for coming in. Yeah, I appreciate whenever anybody comes in and says hello. It's always nice to see everybody. Yeah. That's one of the things I like about playing Fear and Hunger is that I get to inflict it on more people. It's a great series. It's been firmly lodged in my brain for about 6 months straight, just thinking about Fear and Hunger and basically nothing else. So, yeah, it's good. It's like The Ring. If I don't pass it on to other people, it'll actually kill me. So, hey man, in Pokemon there's a Nuzlocke. What do you think you could do as self-implemented rule to make the game even more harder? Oh, well, actually, funny you mentioned that because my friends Dark Raccoon and Frapollo always do challenge runs like that. The classic, I think the classic one right now is doing Olivia without a wheelchair. Is the way to make the game harder. Dark Raccoon, you can find him in the description actually because I'm using a mod of his today. So you can find him in the description, but my friend Frapollo also does challenge runs as well. I'll just link him here. Oh, he's streaming right now too. He's streaming Lobotomy Corp. There you go. Don't watch him. Watch me. You had to watch me. But, no. I'm just kidding. But yes, no, yeah, the classic run right now is, doing Olivia without a wheelchair. Instead of playing 3 days ago, I've already died many times in countless horrible ways, and yet I want more. I know, right? It's great. It's great. The first death, fighting the first enemy in both Fear and Hunger games, either turns you off the game completely or just makes you want more. It feels like there's no in between, really. Oh, hey, Laponkotsi, how you doing? I have a video I need you to see. Oh, no. I don't like the sound of that. Massive mode without wheelchair is no longer masochism. Just it basically is literally just hell, isn't it? Imagine Dungeons and Dragons version of Fear and Hunger. Yeah, it's pretty close already, isn't it? Fear and Hunger 1, not Termina, though. Shout out to wheelchairs. Fear and Hunger 1 is my comfy game. Termina is completely new and so stressful. I kind of felt the same because I did play Fear and Hunger 1 before Termina, but I put way more time into Termina, and then I came back to Fear and Hunger 1 and it just felt off. It felt very uncomfortable. Sorry, I just have to respond to something. Classic. Probably homebrew Call of Cthulhu's Fear and Hunger spin-off. Probably. They're pretty similar, aren't they? Termina seems stressful because the world is bigger and has more content than the original game. I feel like Termina starts off a lot easier than Fear and Hunger 1. I feel like its difficulty curve is a lot smoother. When you know what you're doing, I mean, it's completely different games. I feel like when you know what you're doing, it's easier to break Fear and Hunger 1 in half than it is Termina. I think you get stronger in Fear and Hunger 1. I think you can get stronger and just delete enemies a lot more easily. Not even including like phase step, right? Phase step just completely breaks the game. So yeah. And that's not counting glitches as well. When you start factoring in glitches, you can get every single S ending in under 5 minutes without fighting any enemies. Can you get Enkies in under 5 minutes? Maybe. But you can get, at the very least, you can get most of the S endings in under 5 minutes without fighting any enemies. So yeah, that's when you're counting glitches and exploits. Want Meowsman to walk around with you like a party member? Thank goodness some people are brave enough to play Fear and Hunger. It is. It's our burden to bear, isn't it? you know, us streamers, we're a brave bunch. We're probably the linchpins of society, playing video games for playing video games for people to watch. Oh no, here we go. I'm not watching this on Streamlab, and I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not. Look, I inflict certain things on my audience, and that's not one of them. Sorry. Gonna get to Ocarina of Time level skips. We can insert a certain name and instantly go to credits. Can't wait to know more about canon events happening after Termina. These years of waiting will be hard. I suspect that the only thing that's going to end up being canon, we're probably going to get a new ending, so we'll have to wait and see what the deal with that is. But I suspect the only thing that'll end up canon from Termina is that logic gets turned on. Because that's the only thing that matters in the long run. It's not bad, it's funny. Okay, give me a sec, I'll set this up. The things I do for you to inflict pain upon my chat. I do like inflicting pain upon my chat though, so. Sorry in advance for this, guys, but it's funny, so. Here we go. Ready? Don't negotiate with terrorists. This isn't a negotiation. We've already lost. Okay, ready? Oh, God. What? That's the last video I'm ever watching from you, Lap, and that's it. I'm done. No more. I will not be party to this any longer. Oh shit, here we go again. We had a good runtime by 2 weeks notice. Yeah. That's fair. Is that the Furry, Fear and Hunger fan game? I'm actually shocked there hasn't been a Furry, Fear and Hunger fan game yet. Furries, I thought you guys were good at this sort of stuff. What's going on? TikTok not even once. Glad I tuned in today, I know. Which limb do we cut off first for this monster? His belly is its own limb. There we go. Pocket Cat is furries I'm going to get. That was too much. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Furries, come play Toontown. I think I see multiple... Oh, no. Oh, no. Let me see. I'll Google it. Let's see what Google has to say. Furry, Fear, and Hunger. This is going to be terrifying, isn't it? Does this... Oh, no. It's the first result on Reddit. Does this count as Fear and Hunger content? Fear and Hunger Furry Reddit. Furry fan game. It's on YouTube. Please still be active. Please still be active. Of course it was Raccoon. Of course it was Raccoon playing this. Fine. Fine. Let's check it out. Fucking Raccoon, of course. What's he playing now? This is my friend Raccoon. He did the mod we're using today.
Well, hello there. Welcome to materialization of memories.
This is Furry, Fear and Hunger, you say? Oh no, well we got the Furry alright. Dragon, wait, hang on. That's isn't that Scaly? Oh wait, are they lizards or are they like dolphins? Are dolphins, is that something different? Fishies? Where's the combat? Wait, is there no combat? Is it just a walk? Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go. What is that? Googling Fur and Hunger feels like opening an ancient book. Why can't you use funga? Why not fungarinos? Why not? Oh no. Dolphin is a porpoise. Porpoises. Doesn't look like it has the limb combat. Wait, here we go, here we go. Here's a real fight. Here's a real fight. Oh god. That's Furry, alright. Oh yeah, 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 there is limb combat. There we go. Wow, this is Furry Fear and Hunger. Oh god, yep. yep, that's Fear and Hunger, alright. Dinosaur people? Okay, so then there would be scalies, wouldn't they? Wow, awful. Vote if you want to see more of this game. How do I vote for anything but this game? Raccoon. Fur and Hunger? That's good, that's good. Okay. Enough of that. No more of that, please. Of course Raccoon was playing it. Do you think we'll get S endings in Termina? We'll get one S ending, I reckon. We won't get S endings for each character, though. I sincerely doubt that. I'd like it. I would like it. I wouldn't bet on it. Greetings from Ukraine. Your Fear and Hunger content so much. Third day in a row, fall asleep to your Fear and Hunger podcast. Thank you. Well, thank you for coming in, David. Do I have a Fear and Hunger podcast? Oh, you mean my streams? Yeah. Yeah, thank you. I don't know how people can fall asleep to Fear and Hunger. That would scare the shit out of me. Doesn't that lead to nightmares? Don't you have nightmares from that? Remember someone in chat wanted the Lizardman protagonist in the new Funga game. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Somebody did want that. Go check out Raccoon then if you want your Lizardman. You want your Lizardman Fear and Hunger game. There you go. What engravings are you using? I'm using the Fear and Hunger engraving. Makes me fast. My superior speed I'll surely win with my superior speed. Apparently the developer tried to make Stalker, Funga, and Furries into that game. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, doesn't it? Never understood skunk personas. Like, you gotta pick one animal to represent your personality, and you pick stinky little shit, man. What's ending B on Fear and Hunger? Ending B in the first game is Traces, the Traces fight. We depending on how long it takes us to do this ending, we might actually do that today too. Said you can cheat your way through and get S endings easily. Oh, that's for the first game. For the first game, you can do that. For Termina, there isn't any S endings yet. Hey, dear Heartswish, how you going? And hello, Vic. Fear and Hunger podcast, but it's just derails. You talk about your crazed series that would leave mothers covering their children's ears. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a podcast, to be honest. I don't know if we talk about lore a lot, because I think I would just dominate. Are there... Well, actually, no, that's not true. We could get, there are some other content creators that do a lot of Fear and Hunger lore, aren't there? Well, that's something to think about. One time I was listening to Fear and Hunger videos and I fell asleep and I woke up, someone sawed off my legs. Was it all just a dream? No. Fell asleep to ancient text from 1790 that involves the ancient form of the art of castrating. Oh no, Lappin. What are you looking up? What are you Googling, Lappin? Did Miro say how many endings Termina's going to have? He says that he would like to do at least one more ending. Again, he never promises things because of how he works is usually pretty off the cuff. So when I say he's likely going to do something, it means that there's a good chance, but not guaranteed. So there's a good chance we will get another ending. Miro said he would like to do at least one more ending for Termina. He's also said he'd like to have an ending where everybody can survive. Whether or not we will get another ending and whether or not the new ending will be that is another story. But I reckon we will get at least one more ending, just from the way he's talking. I would love S endings for each character. I doubt that's gonna happen. Because that's gonna be a lot of work. Yeah. But we'll see how it goes, right? Well, I feel it never feels natural when anyone says bloody as in bloody hell. It always feels forced. A little more these days. Australians speak a lot more like Americans these days, but no, people often use slang. It depends on who you talk to, right? I try not to swear that much, so I don't. Sometimes I do, and I don't like doing it, but. Watches he just makes S ending Marco and dips. I think S endings for each character would be viable, but maybe a generalized S ending. That'd be cool. That's what I suspect will happen, a generalized S ending. And maybe an ending E where you can escape, but it's a fake out, like in the first game, would be sick. Yo, Say, thank you very much for the 12 MX. What's MX? You see all sorts of interesting currencies show up in chat. And I never know what a lot of them are. But thank you very much, Say. I appreciate it. My only reference to how Australians talk is bluey. Yeah, that happens a lot. Any future planned characters? Yes, so Mirror again said that what he's going to do is he's going to work on one of the characters, work on one or two of the characters. So it's most likely Tanaka or Pav is going to come first. He's going to see how difficult it is to make it. If it takes like 6 months on a single character, then he's not going to do all the characters, right? But if it's really easy, it's easier than he thinks it's going to be, then we'll get more characters. So there's no guarantee we'll get all the characters, unfortunately. But we will almost certainly get one new one. Probably Tanaka or Pav, since that's what people wanted the most. Not in the next update, for sure. Definitely not in the next update. Because the trade-off was he could spend ages working on Termina and getting the new characters in. This is if it takes a while, right? He could spend ages. Oh, yo, Calvin Ma, thank you very much for becoming a member. Really appreciate it. Yeah, he could spend ages working on all the new characters, or he could start work on the next game he's going to work on, which might be Fear and Hunger 3, might be something else. And I think that's a fair trade-off. Like, I would love to have all the characters playable, right? Don't get me wrong, I'd love that. But if it means getting the next game, a year or two earlier, I'm like, I think I'll take that trade. Hey, first time watching your live stream. Just have your lore video and channel while working out. Great for keeping me motivated so I can crawl away from everything. Keep it the great way. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Oh. I do find it funny when people keeps me motivated, or I like falling asleep to it. It's like, this is a horror series. What do you think? Yo, Crow, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Henrique out here in the Termina Festival Jumbotron. Do you have any tips for a Levi playthrough? Yes, actually. Don't pick shotguns at the start. Do not pick shotguns at the start. Right now, you can get rid of his addiction with an exploit. If you go to needles, if you go and die to needles in the bunker straight away, you'll get rid of his addiction. So that way you can get a free skill in the first, 2 minutes of gameplay. You can only die to needles once, remember, and don't die with a party member, else they'll be permanently dead. But yes, I prefer the pistol skill for Levi rather than the rifle skill, but they're both pretty good. I think the pistol skill is just a little better at the start, when it matters most. But honestly, you can make arguments for both, really. Because the rifle skill is more annoying to get. But yeah, other than that, yeah, you can just get rid of his addiction straight away, which is funny. Without exploits, enter combat as little as possible. If you don't want to get rid of his addiction, enter combat as little as possible. Use your rifle or pistol to gun down enemies quickly without fighting them. You don't actually have to fight anybody until you get to the church. And by then, you'll usually have party members and better equipment anyway. So you can fight basically nobody except Rancid for like the first half of the game, which is great. So, which ending do you think will be canon? Only ending A will be canon, I think. The rest of them don't really matter. I think actually, well, no, that's not true. I think Dan will end up being the next Pocket Cat. If the next game is set after Termina, I think Dan will be the next Pocket Cat. But that's technically not an ending. But out of ending A, B, and C, I think only ending A is the one that matters. So, trench gun is lootable, and you get one in the club. Well, you get all of them in the club. But the issue is that shotguns, the ammo is super limited at the start. Whereas pistols, you get a lot more of that. It's still limited, but you get a lot more. And same with rifles. And if you get the pistol skill, it turns it into a rifle. And if you get the rifle skill, it turns it into a shotgun. And you don't need the shotgun skill at the start, is the thing. The shotgun skill is bugged and now works even when you don't have the skill, so.
I forgot to send a message with the super earlier. Haha, had just wanted to say thanks for being the best.
Thank you very much, Crow. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Thank you again. Donation's so nice you do it twice. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you very much. I have so many character ending headcanons for Terminator. I feel like Osar for sure when it became a dictator, and Avasoni is going to be a world power in Fungo 3 or something, Lamau. I think everybody died. Except for... I think everybody died except for Olivia and Abella. And maybe Osar because they went into White Bunker and then died in there. So I don't think there's going to be any happy endings from Termina. We'll have to wait and see what the new ending's going to be. But I don't expect it to be good. So... I think in my playthroughs, I found a lot of shotgun shells compared to pistol. You know, I guess there is RNG, right? RNG sometimes blesses you, so. I don't know, potential Fear and Hunger 3 setting idea, the Cruel Age, Victorian Gothic horror vibes. That would be so sick. I would love Bloodborne Fear and Hunger. I think that would be the sickest thing ever. I'd love Renaissance. Renaissance is a little close to the first game, though, but I'd still like it. Do you think the guy that is just ahead will come in 3? Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Nashra, he's not going anywhere. Petition to ban Lamau to Lamau. Yeah. Cruel Age Fungo would be sick, yeah. Bloodborne mentioned I'll obsessed now. Have you tried any Shin Megami Tensei? No, I haven't. It looks sick, though. I have a theory that Marco survived canonically. Bro is big and resilient. Yes, but... it's the festival. We don't get any happy endings. Hey, Hopey Dopey. Was wondering if your first playthroughs of Fear and Hunger in Termina anywhere. Not of Fear and Hunger, technically, because I played it a very long time ago. I have my first ones recently here. If you go to, on my channel, you go to live, and you scroll down a bit, you'll see, if you go here, you scroll down a bit, you'll see, it'll be, well, somewhere around here. I don't remember which one it was, actually. Oh, yeah, Fear and Hunger 1, only 3 weeks ago. There you go. But also, my first playthroughs of Termina are on this channel. Oh, no, here's my... Hang on, I did Fear and Hunger here as well. Whoops, there you go. I stopped uploading to this one because when you stream on YouTube, it just automatically keeps it anyway. So... Oh, that's right. I was playing World of Horror. I wish World of Horror was better. Anyway. Love no happy endings? Yeah, absolutely. Bald version when? You guys like bald now, huh? SMT has the same vibe Fear and Hunger does. When you miss one attack, you get folded into a Slim Jim and slipped up to backstock. Never seen your channel. Your setup is so cool. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know what to do with my VOD channel. I think I might just leave it because I don't really have anything to upload there. So sometimes when YouTubers get big enough, they have a second channel for like daily uploads or random uploads. So maybe I'll do that when I get big enough and I can hire editors. Yeah. I want to see your reactions to stuff, but your content helps out a lot. Oh, thank you. So, yeah, it has a lot of potential. It just gets so samey after a few runs. I think Fear and Hunger 3 would take place much later on, like early 2000s. That is some sort of dark world or time travel for the past. That'd be interesting. Well, there's you know, time travel is already established in Fear and Hunger 1, so it's not out of the question, right? Who made your avatar? That will be Salvatron, and his link is down in the description there. Salva 55. Highly recommend. He does some fantastic stuff. He's always posting art on his Twitter there, so go check him out. Can we for the cooking channel? More they cooks. I think the devs should really insert a Linux build. There are so many people who try to play this game on Steam Deck with major issues. It's a shame. I've heard that sort of stuff's pretty difficult. I don't know much about it though. Like doing builds for different things because it's all got their own unique bugs and what have you. And also in SMT you can also panic and drop like $100,000. What? Bamboozle, you said the magic word. Yes. Yes, this is me. This has been. I'll show you what I've been. I'll show you what I've been like for the past week. Well, actually, technically the past. Yeah, ever since I've been doing lore videos, this is what I've been like. Where did I put it? This is me. This is me. It all comes back to sulfur. All of it. All of it comes back to sulfur. It's crazy. Yeah, let me put that here. There we go. It all comes back to sulfur. What's written on your forehead? Sinner. It all comes back to sulfur, right? Actually, that's showing through my head. Whoops. Yeah. Sulfur is behind logic. Sulfur is behind Grogoroth. Sulfur is behind, probably even behind Fear and Hunger. I haven't looked into that enough yet, but probably behind that too. Behind Rare, behind, you know, not Sylvian shenanigans. Behind Vitruvia, behind the festival, behind the Sulfur cult. Well, that's an easy one. Behind the church, behind Lagarde. He's everything. Everything. I wonder if Sulfur has much influence in the first. He has so much influence in the first game because Sulfur is Alllmer, right? And it all comes back to Alllmer and it all comes back to Sulfur. So, I see more there. I've been averaging your current viewers during your streams, and 133 before the game even starts is really good. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is really good. People like watching Fear and Hunger. Did Kahara survive? I don't know. It's either him or Das that died dropping the girl off to daycare down in the void. I've been leaning towards Das recently. So he could have survived, but I don't think it matters either way. Because when they leave, both of they don't have that much impact anyway, so. Having something like 12 hours of Fear and Hunger 1 and can't understand how the map is connected between the first left entrance and the main floor. It'd be cool to have a map of the game. Well, so the issue is it keeps the first floors of the dungeon shuffle around, so it's sort of hard to do that. Is it Alllmer literally Jesus? Yes, but he's a bit different. He's not just Jesus with a new name. He borrows a lot of notes from Jesus, but he also does some different stuff. It's kind of like, if you know anything about Gnosticism, it draws a lot from that, but imagine if instead of the true god of Gnosticism being good, the true god of Gnosticism was Grogoroth. So what Paz Moonscorch form be, since I'll assume he get one when he becomes playable? Miro has one designed. Apparently he didn't like it very much, so I don't know when we're actually going to get one, or if he's going to redesign it, or what the go is. I think it'd be cool if he'd be like some sort of Night Revenant. You know, someone undying, still going about their mission. I think would be sick, but you know, who knows, right? Sulfur video is the reason I subscribed to the channel. Thank you. Yeah, I think I was pretty happy with that one. Pretty happy with the the script. I was pretty happy with the script in that one. Picturing the church look more like Das than Kahara. It could be both. Kahara's S ending isn't as impactful as Enki's or Ragnvaldr's. Exactly, that's the thing. That's the thing, right? Yeah, it's sort of really hard to tell when their impact is so small, isn't it? So... Big Bang Theory, Kahara sells the girl to Bucket Cat and Bucket Cat drops the girl off. Now that'd be funny. I had a dream of me and my friends were the Fungal One characters with my Aussie friend being Das, and the next day my friend got her hair dyed and it's the exact same color. Wow, spooky. Is Lagarde important from a gameplay perspective? You never use leg sweep. Yes. From a gameplay perspective, yeah, he's a really good character in one. Yeah, Lagarde's really good. August is connected to the Outlander. Yes, he's most likely his descendant. Some people suspect that he is Ragnvaldr, but I don't think that's the case. It feels like he's just like his great grandson or something like that. So, just getting into Fear and Hunger, the amount of lore it has intimidates me. It's big. I keep digging, and then I keep digging, and then I keep digging, and I think, okay, I figured it out now. And then it's like, oh wait, no, here's 10 more questions that need to be answered, and we have no idea how to answer them. What is the green hue? We kind of don't really know. Where did the gods go? We don't really know. Who's Vitruvia? Well, we can guess, but we don't really know. Who's the sun god? Well, we know now, but it's been after me spending literal months thinking about the lore of this game. What does logic do? We kind of don't really know. What is... Why does the logic ending end the festival? Again, we don't know. It's just like, it's every single thing is like, we don't know. It's funny. Legado says a glitch if you have Das in your party. He'll prevent anyone from leaving because of low mind. Oh, really? That's cool. Well, can you say... Okay, here we go. Verily, I does fancy posteriors, and mine words bear truth. Thou other brethren, thy denials hold no sway, forsooth. Honestly, I wonder how much Murray thought out and just forgot. I have a feeling that all of it is pretty well thought out. I haven't found anything that... There's only one thing I found that's wrong, that I know for sure is wrong in the lore. Like, one mistake. And that's a super minor thing. That's the old gods. And even then, you can still argue it. The new gods in the hall say that Abyssonia is the birthplace of Western civilization with the statues. So they basically say that Abyssonia is Greece, but then we find out that Abyssonia is actually Africa in Termina. And you could argue that by saying that, well, the empires of Abyssonia in the past conquered Greece, so now it's technically part of it. But other than that, I haven't found anything that's like explicitly wrong in the lore. And trust me, I am trying to piece all this puzzle together. And if there was something that was wrong, I probably would have noticed by now. Yeah. Unironically, Mirror in a future tower should add your sprite as an NPC and as a Sulfur conspiracy theorist. That'd be funny. Why did I find Lagarde alive after 1 hour? Did encounters and talk with NPC count as playtime? That's a good question. Could be a glitch, maybe? Combat time doesn't count as playtime, as I recall. Oh, okay. Deep lore must be very well put together. I suspect Mura has one massive document or notebook somewhere where he writes it all down and then obsessively references it, is what I think. Maybe logic ending the festival could be the fact that she protected us from fragments of the older gods, but Sulfur is now trapped with humans. No, what I think it is that logic is part of Sulfur's plan. I'm going to do a logic lore video soon, so I'm still figuring this stuff out, but what I think is that once the logic plan has completed, Sulfur is like, okay, we're done now. The party's over. We don't need the festival anymore. See you later. It's done. That's right. You're right, Allbones Jones. You're 100% correct. There is a book in the first game called Blood and Flower Magic, and it said that mastery over insects is a Grogoroth. Is a blood magic spell, which is a Grogoroth spell, which is obviously not the case. It's a depth skill. But it was written in an earlier version of the game where it was a Grogoroth skill, and the book wasn't updated. But yes, you are 100% correct. That is a weird lore mistake. First game was heavily inspired by Berserk. What do you think the Terminator is inspired by, other than Majora's Mask? Inspired by the that massive worldwide event that happened for a couple of years that I'm not sure I can say the name of without getting like thoroughly demonetized by YouTube. You know the big one? When we all had to stay inside for a while? That definitely had some impact on the game. What else? Well, obviously Battle Royale things. People keep saying there's JoJo references everywhere, so we'll just say JoJo. There's a lot that goes into it. I try not to pay attention to references because I can never remember stuff anyway. And I don't know if there's much point in going through the references. There might be, you know. Especially with that Pocket Cat speech talking about how stories repeat themselves, but I've been obsessing over these games for a bit, but I don't know if it's worth the mental trauma of playing. Is this viable for the brain? I don't think it's as bad as people think, but I have a pretty twisted sense of what I think is bad and not not bad. So, look, yeah, just watch some gameplay, particularly of the first 15 minutes of the game, and it usually doesn't get worse than the first 15 minutes in both the games in terms of heavy themes. You can usually have a good idea of what to expect. And so if you think that that's too much for you, then definitely don't play it. And look up, if you are someone who is sensitive to certain triggers, then definitely look up lists of triggers for the games. You know, like if you're uncomfortable around sexual assault or drug use or themes of child abuse and that sort of stuff, then yeah, I would suggest looking up the list of tags for this series, right? Have you seen the Silent Hill film? I saw the first Silent Hill movie. No, I saw the other one after that too, with the razor wire. The chick gets like pulled apart by razor wire or something. Or did that happen in the first game? The first movie. I didn't play the games. The best references was the SpongeBob with Gary. Yeah. I think so much of the nasty content is in it so abstracted, so it's not nearly as triggering as people pretend it is. It has a point. It actually uses it really well. It's not just there to be for shock content. It is shocking, but that's not the only reason it's there. So I think that might even make it worse, you know, because it gives it thorough context as to why it's there. Like the guards raping you, there's a reason they're doing that. And that might make it worse. It's not just there to go, haha, look at how gross this is. Haha, they got big dicks, which is it's funny. I'm not gonna lie, it's funny. But you know, having big dicks right in the face is pretty funny. But there's a reason it's there. That was why I didn't like that criticism in the Eye Patch Wolf video, is he didn't like how much sexual stuff there was, and it's like, well, there's a point to it. It's not just there for shock value. So. Pretty sure the guys hanging in the department store are a Hellraiser reference. There's Hellraiser themes. I don't know if there's the what's that? What's the god? Not the tainted one. The tainted god. Yeah. She directly references Hellraiser dialogue, but other than that, it uses the themes from Hellraiser. I don't know if there's like direct references. You know how, I mean, you know, it's like a roundabout reference, right? Like, you know how Rancid isn't a direct reference to the YouTuber, but is there because the YouTuber, right? What's the reason the guy raped you in the game? So the whole dungeon is twisted by Grogoroth and Sylvian and the Darkness. And not only is the rape a display of power, but it's also because they're soul-crushingly lonely in the darkness, and they want some connection. They don't know how to reach out for that connection, but they want a connection. That's also why we see the Moonless Guards down later, because they found that connection in the Cave Wolves. The Cave Wolves wanted the connection too. And they didn't want to be alone anymore. And, you know, it's sort of fucked up how they get around that, but... The dungeon is a pit of all the worst qualities of humanity being let loose, and that one included. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it is. It's like the worst aspects of everything you can think of is in the dungeon, so... Getting raped in the middle of the dungeon with no one to help you is horrifying. Oh, it's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying, yeah. How you doing, Toe? How you doing? Does confirm that cave wolves can consent. Well, Sylvian... We actually talked about this a little bit. Sylvian consent is different from what humans would consider as consent, right? You know, humans consider consent that you have to be intelligent enough and lucid enough to consent, right? So that instantly gets animals out of the equation. But Sylvian consent is different. Sylvian consent just seems to be, yeah, it's down for it, right? So it's different. Harvestman's fucking terrifying, yeah. Harvestman is actually a sort of a note on the same sort of thing, because the new gods say that the Harvestman tries to please whoever it has, but it doesn't know how to. It doesn't understand the person that it's trying to connect with. And that's why it ends up killing you, so. Guards are like the characters from Haunting Ground. I don't know. I haven't played Haunting Ground, unfortunately. Can a ghoul consent? Yes. Sylvian-wise, yes. Hey, Heartless Alien, how you doing? Hey, Toxic Radiant. And Fovia, how we doing? If Sylvian wants consent, does that mean that the guard and Moonless... Oh, yeah, they could, yeah. Yeah, they do, yeah. Yeah. Are the guards even humans? Possibly former humans corrupted by chaos? Yes, they are corrupted by the dungeon. They are explicitly former humans corrupted by the darkness of the dungeon. That's how Yellow Mage became a marriage with the Lizardmen. Yeah. Lizardmen are probably easier for us to understand because they are sentient, right? We still pre-chatting it? Oh, yeah, we are. Oh, it's been a while. Then he consents Sylvian understands his tentacles. I like that Sylvian tries to understand us. Sylvian is such an interesting character. She wants to understand humans, but she can't. When you fight her, she grabs you, right? Because she's trying to love you, but she doesn't know how to. And then she makes copies of the humans because she's trying to talk to us somehow. She's trying to communicate with us. She just doesn't get humans. She doesn't understand us. And that's one of the major themes in the games, is that the old gods and humanity are necessarily incompatible with each other. We can't understand each other. One of the games you find scariest personally? That's a good question, actually. I don't actually know. I think the mob is pretty scary. Because it's a group of people who will... I also think it's very relevant, right? It's a very timely and potent message for today. A mob of people who refuse to listen to reason, who want to kill you, and you can't stop them no matter what. And it's also one of the most difficult fights in the base Termini game. When you're solo. Not impossible, of course. You know, there's always ways around it, but it's one of the more difficult fights. I think that's pretty scary. Not macabre, ambient, mature horror to death, but always be a total baby if I see a jump scare. Jump scares just get people, right? That's why it's cheap horror, because it always gets you. I can understand the old guys just fine. Maybe they have skill issues. Hey, Wine Robertson, how we doing? Friend Hunger 1, because Termina, we have more of the rules we are used to when it comes to Mod Mage. About Sylvian, did the Sea of Flesh happen because of her overall influence or something specifically because of flower magic? I think that she did it on purpose, is what I think. I mentioned that in my upcoming Sun God video. I think she was trying to... She wants a human to love her back, right? And humans can't do that. And we have the Sea of Flesh incident. And I think that was her trying to make a human strong enough to love her back, and it failed. And then she makes Alllmer, and that kind of fails. And then we get... Oh, I go on about it in the video, right? Do you know about Black Souls? I do know about Black Souls. I can't play it here, though. It's very illegal in Australia. So I can't play it, and I haven't ever played it. Sea of Flesh sounds like an SCP. It does. Guess the old guys left humans dimension like the great ones in Bloodborne. It's very similar. They're like, yeah, fuck this, we're out. I'll live her back. You can't. Your brain gets fried. That's the thing. Can't Sylvian just go to town with one of the two Alllmer? That was the plan. Didn't work. Didn't work for some reason. So. Favorite character is Caligari with a yee haircut. I love the Caligari edits. They're so good. Humans simply aren't equipped to pleasure Sylvian. Vitruvian never thought that part through. I'll just talk more about endings here because I feel like the dungeon actually curses peeps who enter it unless somebody else breaks the curse for everybody. Ending C in hang on, what's the ending C in the first game? Endings. Ending C, Yellow King. We did that one, didn't we? Yeah. Do 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 do. Let the silly out of Black Souls. When I discovered Fear and Hunger, I instantly migrated to Fear and Hunger. Fear and Hunger is pretty good. Yeah, Yellow King. Fear and Hunger reminds me of Dogscape. Quick creepy game that might be good for a stream is Year Walk. I'll have a look at that. Year Walk game. I'll write that down. I'll check that out later. Adventure game published from mobile game developer on iOS devices 2013. Difference between C and C2 is a party being sane after escaping or not is what I've noticed. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it matters much. Is the story author okay? Does he need a hug? Miro, I think Miro definitely needs a hug. He says he's in a much better place now than when he was when he made Fear and Hunger, so maybe he doesn't. Is Vitruvia working with Sulfur or Rare? Vitruvia and Rare are both working for Sulfur. Whether willingly is a different story, and I don't think it matters that much when you get to the level of gods, but they are working for Sulfur, yes. Not about Yuppie Cycle, I've heard about it. Sylvian probably learned how to love by Grogoroth would explain a lot why she can't ever love humanity. It's just that humans can't understand the concepts that the gods represent very well. So we can't ever understand what the gods are at all, so. Think we'll get any S-ending equivalents for Fear and Hunger 2? We'll get one, I reckon. Well, I don't think we'll get one for each character. I reckon we'll get one. I don't know if it'll be canon or not. Maybe we'll get an ending E instead. Isn't Rare pieced out and it's just traces we see? I don't know. And I don't think it matters either. Because traces are still pretty sentient and pretty active, like as we see with Grogoroth. But also, Rare doesn't deal with humanity, so I don't know if there's any way we could ever figure that out. So, can you imagine what a two-dimensional being thinks? Could it ever comprehend how freely you move compared to it? Exactly. It is sort of similar to trying understanding what a four-dimensional being is like compared to us. I'd assume the love Sylvan indulges into the twisted extreme forms of love that are only possible in fiction for humans. Yeah, well, we sort of get glimpses of Sylvian love, and it's merging beings together, merging souls and flesh together. It's oneness, and Grogoroth is zero-ness. Hey, Mark Arif, how we doing? Does Nashra still exist in the canon timeline? Yes. Nashra's still kicking. He ain't dead. Well, he can't die, really. The old gods are so other they don't grasp human concepts and values. We don't really care about how microorganisms live. Exactly, yeah. What are some changes or add-ons you'd like to see in Fear and Hunger 3? I actually think going back to fewer player characters would be more interesting. I do like all the cast, and I do like how I like how Tamina is set up, but I always do prefer smaller casts. Other than that, I don't really know. I haven't really thought about it. The boss from Termina is a trace of an older god, or is it the actual guy? We don't know. Percolé says it's traces, but Percolé is hard to trust. He's very hard to trust. It doesn't say traces when you fight him, is the thing. And again, I don't think it matters either way, if he's there or not. So, what exactly causes Moonscorch? It's being in the presence of Rare. And he's using Sulfur's power to do it somehow. If Sylvan is oneness and Grogoroth is nullness, isn't the Sulfur's sun god multitudes? Sulfur... Okay, so what the sun god did is... he took certain aspects of Grogoroth. And the aspects he didn't want were left behind in the traces. He wanted the domination of Grogoroth. And so he is... And he took the interest in humanity as well from Grogoroth. Although Grogoroth is still pretty interested in humanity, which is interesting. And yeah, he became basically the god of domination, really. Is Sulfur the GOAT? The greatest of all time? Absolutely, yeah. It kind of perplexed me how he said he lost interest at the end of the fight. Like he's the actual being and not just sentient trace. Well, from our perspective, the traces are basically the god, you know? So it's sort of like, that's why I think it doesn't matter that much if he's there or not. Because, you know, the traces, from the human perspective, the traces act like the god, they look like the god, they do the same thing the god does, they know what the god knows. They just get weaker over time. So there's no practical difference for humans, whether it's a trace or not. So I like your little VTuber guy. It gives me Riddler vibes. Thank you. Wait, is that good? I think the god of nature is one of the gentler ones. Venushka swings wildly from gentle to violent. From life to death. From nurture to destruction. I think Logic will reappear in Fear and Hunger 3. I suspect Logic will show up in some form, especially since gods tend to be outside of time. So I do think Logic will show up in Fear and Hunger 3, no matter where it's set. Didn't Grogoroth in the first game the old gods left long ago? That would make them traces. Yes, but we don't know exactly who he was referring to. Because we know that there are other old gods we don't know the names of that who have left very, very long time ago. And the only old gods we know of are the ones that sort of stuck around for a while. Like Rare, Sylvian, Grogoroth, Depths, Venushka. And there are more that left ages earlier, so long ago we don't even know their names anymore. We only have their icons. You know, there's like 2 or 3 icons that are possibly representative of old gods that have left a long time ago. I mean, that's all we know about them, right? So exactly who he's referring to is not very clear. So Rare was using connection to Sulfur to target humans. But there are a couple of animals affected in Termina too. Yeah, it's weird. E-girl protagonist in Fear and Hunger 3, let's go! I have so many ideas written in a notepad about logic and I want to show them to Miro, but I don't know how. He won't respond to lore questions. He's always said he won't ever answer lore questions in public, so. So you get moonscorched by only the fact of refusing to participate? No. No, if you're in the festival, you get moonscorched no matter what. Even if you really want to participate. Like, Caligura loves the festival. He loves doing that shit, but he gets moonscorched. The Sulfur cult don't get moonscorched because either... There's a couple of options. Either... Percole's power of controlling the festival means his friends won't get moonscorched. Sulfur, being the god of humans, gives his followers a protective aura. Or Rare personally doesn't want to moonscorch the Sulfur cultists because they're working together. There's a few ideas there, and they're all kind of similar, right? So now, since we got Venushka and Rare for Termina, what are at least 2 more old gods you want for Fear and Hunger 3? Well, we actually see their symbols in the clock face. I can pull that up. Pull that shit up, Jamie. Where did I save that? Here. Don't mind the circle. Oh no, the circle is one of them too. So these are all symbols of new and ascended gods, right? Okay, so going clockwise, starting from the circle, we have some mysterious symbol of enlightenment. Then we have Sulfur, and then Alllmer, and then hang on, I have my oops, no, my arrow, don't I? I'll point at them. Okay. Okay, so we have mysterious god of enlightenment. We have because this symbol shows up in the Book of Enlightenment, and logic also uses a version of it. So it could be a opposite version of Venushka. Then we have Sulfur, Alllmer, Rare, Sylvian, Grogoroth, and then this one, I believe, in the files is called Turkalo, which is a name that shows up in the Pocket Cat book as a bugman. So, but of course, the things in the files aren't explicitly canon, and Miro has said that he has left red herrings in the files. So, while we refer to it as Turkilo, it's not 100% guaranteed that it's him. And then we have Venushka, and then we have Depths, and then we have the Sun God symbol. So, yes. It's implied that Bertel is the one who created the Books of Enlightenment. Is it? Is he from the East? Because they're books from the East. What's the concepts you'd want to see them representing? I honestly have no idea. I wonder if we can understand what they represent because they've left our reality, so we can't understand what they are. So I don't know if we can understand what they are. The god of nerd emoji. Okay, so why is Alllmer there? Doesn't not exist. It's important to remember that this clock is made by humans. So some of these symbols are actually wrong. Like this, the depth symbol is facing the wrong way. This symbol, the sun god symbol, is upside down. Alllmer's symbol never appears like this as well. So it's these symbols are slightly wrong, slightly off. So it's sort of, I don't know what all these symbols mean. People suspect that it's the seasons. Well, actually, no, it is the seasons, isn't it? It's they tell you in the museum. I forgot because I haven't actually talked to the people in the longest time, but it's the seasons of the year. So it is very human oriented. So, to pick a god to follow, which one would you choose? Fear and Hunger. So much of the first game's story is actually lost to time in the second game that characters are not really sure about many things. Oh, yeah. So, our perspective as players is completely different from what's actually known in the world, right? First time round, is this stream a lore debate stream or is this ending a run stream? That's a good question. I just like talking about lore with you guys. Probably should play soon, hey. The Alllmer symbol there was reference to H.P. Lovecraft, you know, the Elder sign? Is it now? H.P. Lovecraft Elder sign. Let's see. No. It's, some early crosses were, had the arms pointed upwards in a Y shape as well. So it could just be a really old cross sign. You can even see it represented in his look in the rare skin bubble. The half moon mask represents his persona, and the full moon beneath it represents the shadow. Yeah, his Rare's face is literally a sulfur cultist face. It's funny as. Let me pull that up. Yeah. It looks sick. This art, all the skin bubble art is so sick, right? I'd be a rare follower because he's a troll god. Sounds like it'd be a good time. Never a dull moment. Like how it aligns with the old myths of full moon bringing madness. In the world of fear and hunger, the full moon does indeed bring madness in the form of revealing the bestial shadow like werewolves. Yeah, exactly. I've known some nightclub bouncers, some security guards for nightclubs, and they say that on full moons it always gets worse. Every single time on the full moon, without a doubt, it gets worse. So I think there's some truth to that. Rare looks like me at 3 AM when I'm going for a crisp glass of water. Whose skin are the skin bubbles made of? That's a very good question, actually. I don't know. Do 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 do. Ugh. Does Sulfur just want to screw over humans then? Her intentions are pretty strange. No, he wants to elevate humanity. It's his goal to elevate humanity, I believe. I think that the whole story boils down to Grogoroth being a simp. Is what I think the whole story boils down to. A simp for Sylvian. Because Sylvian left and he wants to rebuild humanity to impress her and bring them back. And he keeps failing at it, so. Any other species aside from lizard people that we know of? There are the Sergals. We know very little about the Sergals, but they seem to be a sentient race that live in Vinland. There's also the Icky Torso, who are Venushka followers. There's various forms of demons. There are the hairy men, our people, in the forest that we only see glimpses of, who are, again, probably Venushka followers. I suspect they're actually rare followers, but that's a different story. And is that it? There's probably some more races floating around. If you're talking about races that controlled the world at some point, only the Lizardmen that we know of controlled the world. Emergency room is always busiest on a full moon. There you go. Grogoroth is tier 3 sub-Sylvian. Necromancy amassing huge armies don't ever seem to be a thing. Feels like that's a strong power to have in the long run. Necromancy takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy. And is what we see in game is... So, when you see the characters learning skills in game, it's expedited. It's very, very, very fast. You have to understand that in reality, someone would spend decades of their life learning even a single one of these skills, right? Particularly the spells from the gods, right? And it takes a tremendous amount of energy to actually do it. What we see in game is very sped up because of the weird shenanigans that's happening with the gods, so... Imagine we got rid of politicians and a democratically electing gods instead. That's logic. Icky Torso. Yeah, the Icky Torso you can see in you can see it in Ragnvald's S ending, but we can also see it. Do I have all the S endings exported? Let me see. This one, here we go. Spoilers if you don't want to see Ragnvald's S ending. Well, this isn't really spoilers, but still. Yeah, this fella, with the, down the bottom here. With the, he's got like a horsey sort of face, and he's got the big tree horns. And he shows up in Termina as well. He shows up. I don't have a screenshot of that though, unfortunately. Do I have a screenshot of that? No, not at the moment. The Furry and Grogoroth lore reminds me of Dota in some ways. Dota had really interesting lore. It was actually, pretty interesting. Fungal lore is basically like all the parts of the Nasuverse. What's the Nasuverse? Ragnvald is so fucking hot. Never understood why Rag killed them. They're such chill dudes. They're not chill dudes. They're Venushka followers. Venushka followers swing from. Venushka followers are like all those hippies that end up going crazy and killing people. Venushka's followers are the Manson family cult, basically. For his disdain, it says sinner. Nasuverse equals fate, Tsukihime. Oh, okay. Fate, yep. How did Moonless come to Breheevil? August likely brought Moonless there to help track down Yellow King. You'll notice that. So here's something interesting. In all the bunkers, there is either Sulfur shenanigans, August shenanigans, or both. So in the first bunker where there's a Bella gets one of the parasites on her face, which is likely a sulfur parasite, and there's a rare portal right there. In the Stitches bunker, there's Stitches, who is literally just straight up a sulfur cultist, but also August is down there, and he attacks Osar because he thinks Osar is the Yellow King, because he only sees the yellow cloth in the distance, right, in the darkness. And in the other bunker, Moonless is guarding it, and Moonless is working with August. Moonless is guarding it, and when you go down there, there is a doppelganger down there, who are most likely something to do with Rare or Sulfur or both. Someone Twitter made a Summer Snake rune. That sounds pretty cool. Pocket Cat take over Dan, or does Dan retain some sentience? Pocket Cat would take him over. There would be some differences in the way those Pocket Cats act. But it would be very minor. It's two actors playing the same role, basically. Is Sulfur like the god above others? Yes. Everybody who stayed behind, he's basically in control of. Or, I guess more like a leader. I don't know if he has, like, if he's you know, he's got control by force, or is this the leader of them, and they're helping him because they want to. What is the Skin Granny? The Skin Granny is a story that came to life. That's not the first time we've seen it. We've also seen it in Runteals. Runteals are stories that explicitly come to life. I think Pocket Cat is also a story that came to life as well. But Pocket Cat is really weird anyway. It was really weird. Because he also possesses people, so he might be a demon. It's hard to know. It's really hard to know. No, there's nothing else like Pocket Cat is the thing. He's kind of a story, but they also could just be stories written about Pocket Cat, but then he manipulates the stories as well, so it's bizarre. I do think he is a sentient story, so. Is Pocket Cat a lineage, or is it a continuous leap? It's multiple actors playing the same role, basically. The role just happens to be alive. So Control seems like a weird thing for Sulfur, especially since he represents freedom. No, he doesn't represent freedom. He represents power and domination. Through him, humanity are elevated to be equal to the gods. Well, that was the plan. But he is still a god of domination. He's about humans gain freedom from his control, but it's kind of like, imagine like a dictator, right? If you are aligned with the dictator, then you can get a quite a large amount of freedom, right? You know, think about like North Korea. If you're a party member, you have a lot more freedom to do what you want than somebody who is against the regime. But yeah, if you're against the regime, you will be ground into a pulp. So, yeah, anybody who argues for freedom is basically saying, I want to be able to do what I want to do. And eventually that will always come into conflict with somebody else, so. There's no way anybody can ever do exactly what they want. You have to compromise. Pocket is just Dan expressing the furry side of the patience is still in him. Only old god who represents freedom is the old god. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Hiccuping. Ugh. Would you say that Sulfur is pretty much the fear and hunger equivalent to Satan, seeing how Alllmer is the fear and hunger equivalent to Jesus? No. No. In this, there isn't really a Satan. Because there isn't a perfect, because you know, Jesus comes from from God, and God has the angels, and Satan is one of the angels that rebelled. There isn't that whole system of like Yahweh and the angels, and then Jesus coming from that. So there's no real Satan analog in this. Somebody tempting people against the true God, because there kind of isn't a true one God in Fear and Hunger. I know I said true God before, but that was in reference to something. Yes, I don't think there's anything that's quite like Satan. Man in Black kind of is, but I don't know what Man in Black. I don't think he's as strong as you might consider a Satan to be. So, yeah. What's the point of creating logic? Is it just to help strengthen humanity? It's to allow, what I suspect is that it's to allow humanity to ascend. Well, I think I straight up say to allow humanity to ascend as one. Which is, if you pay attention, that's what Sylvan was trying to do. That's what Sulfur was trying to do. That's what Grogoroth was trying to do. It's all part of the same system. Don't Mormons or some group believe that Satan was Jesus' brother? I don't know. I haven't heard about that. The contradictory nature of human desires is part of the human condition. I wonder how Sulfur and the gods feel about that. Was it planned or was it an accident? Yeah, I don't know. We don't know about what Sylvian cares about most of the time. Hey, man, what about the old god? I'm not falling for that one, Shin. I'm not falling for that one. I don't think Mal likes more than playing Fear and Hunger is talking about Fear and Hunger. Yeah, I could talk about the lore for like another 2 hours. Do you want to do that? Do you want to just have a lore stream? I don't mind. Hey, Raccoon, how you doing? We're talking about lore, so I don't know how happy you are to be here. We were laughing about that Furry Fear and Hunger game before that you were playing. What was it called again? The Furry Stalker Fear and Hunger. I can keep watching. I have to refill my water and it's 2 AM. Goodness gracious. Yeah, don't feel bad if you have to leave early, guys. I know these streams can go a bit late for people, so. Men in Black is more like Judas. I suspect he is like Judas. But yeah, I was just trying to think of who could even be like a Satan type character, right? Followed your advice on getting inverse crown of thorns since it was ranked S+. I'll say that I won't follow your advice on spontaneous combustion. Why though? It's great. Yo, Oxy, thank you so much for the 10.
Just finished my first term in a run, got the machine god ending. Thanks for all the content. It's awesome to watch while playing through.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad I can make something you enjoy. Yeah. Machine god ending. That's a tough one to get first up. Good job. I had to get machine gun ending first up too because I got a glitch in my first playthrough where I couldn't actually kill Abella. She vanished. I think that... No, I think that glitch has been fixed. But yeah, I got that glitch. That was an old glitch and I couldn't actually get ending B or C. Wiki said that the goat had sex with the woodsman's wife. In this regard, yes, the wiki is correct. The goat did have sex with the woodsman's wife, and she very much enjoyed it. So, which is worse, a god who does not understand humanity or one that does? Yeah, all the gods are pretty bad for humans. Yeah, do not listen to the gods. They don't care about you. Yellow mages are the only ones that really understand that. Is the gods don't give a shit about you, no matter what. No matter what you think, no matter what they say, they don't actually give a shit about you. Really happy that I joined and have two things happen. Now talking about lore and furry game being reminded that it exists and my fan base wants me to play it. You know what they say, Raccoon? The streamer gets the chat they deserve. So have fun playing your furry Fear and Hunger game. Stream ends if more there falls for one of the jokes. I need Fear and Hunger on Android. I can't play it because I don't have a PC. I've seen people say they have been able to play it on Android. Apparently there's an emulator that plays RPG Maker games on there really well. I don't know how good it is. I imagine it's pretty buggy. You're never getting an official port. I'll tell you that right now. You're never getting an official port. So you can definitely check that out. RPG, I don't know what it is though, because I obviously don't play it, so. Meow feels like he could say, I'm the Joker, baby! Isn't there a marriage enemy in Termina? It's between a person and a horse or something. I don't know if that was an actual marriage because we don't see a Sylvian circle or anything down there. People say it's a marriage. I think it's just Stitches stitching them together, is what I think. Because we also see Stitches literally stitching all those people together, and it's as seamless as the horses. So I don't think it's an actual marriage. I think she's just mimicking marriages. So... Putting a lore stream, can we mute the game audio? We can put some different music on, yeah. Let's go. Just mute this game. Here it is. Here we go. Here we go. Alllmer bells. Don't they know Sylvian magic because of Dan, though? Yes, but... as far as we know, it always requires a Sylvian circle. And there wasn't any Sylvian circle. And she didn't know Sylvian magic. Her dad did. And Needles doesn't actually do that. It's possible. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I just think it's less likely than it just being them stitched together. So. Ascension sounds like a great way to create something capable of fucking you over or immediately dying. Yeah. Yeah, don't fight Centaur anyway. Yeah, you don't need to fight Centaur. Just don't fight it. There's no point. You need a tier list of hottest Fear and Hunger enemies. Caligura just wins though, so I don't think we need the tier list there. Gotta love how much the festival destroys Dan's mental state with his wife and dad as raping enemies. Yeah, the festival is designed to fuck poor Dan over, isn't it? I don't think it's a coincidence that he also becomes Pocket Cat, so. Does it Dan imply that Centaur is potentially a marriage? I suppose it's not a confirmation. He doesn't really believe in... Does he believe in magic? Or is that Karen? I get confused. I don't remember, sorry. Dollar store Sylvian marriage. In Lovecraft's mythos, Nyarlathotep is one of, if not the only one that actually understands the human mind, and he is not very nice to humans. Would you say Sulfur can understand humans? Sulfur can definitely understand humans, for sure. Sulfur very much gets humans. And I think he likes them. But the issue is that what the gods want and what humanity wants don't line up ever. So... still hilarious how Dan can save his arm with arm guards for some sacrifice. Oh, yeah, it's funny as. The magnetical exploit. The goat your GF tells you not to worry about. Any in-law explanation for Needle's orgasm ghost? I think he was high on heroin when that happens, so... That is interesting he does that, though. I think it is... It could be a Sylvian ritual. You know what? It could be. Because it is masturbation, isn't it? I think masturbation has to be intentional. You have to intend it. So, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Fought Centaur first time, met him and destroyed him, but went through all my healing supplies. Oh, yeah. Centaur is easy to not die to, but you're going to take a lot of damage fighting Centaur. I don't think you can avoid a lot of damage with it because there was a bug, and I don't know if it's still in there. But you couldn't guard some of its attacks. Or you could guard it, but it wouldn't reduce the damage of some of its attacks. And I don't know if that is still in there. So I think with Stampede would just deal ridiculous damage to everybody. What were you all talking about Furry game, though? I'm just curious what topic would be fun to talk about. Oh, somebody asked why wasn't there a Furry Fear and Hunger game, and so I googled it, and the first result was somebody on Reddit linking your video, and I watched it, and we had a good laugh about it. Yeah, that's right. Dan does understand magic a bit, right? I got confused because it's Karen that's always saying magic isn't real, which frankly is a little bit silly, considering that there's literal magic happening a lot. How many contestants can Needles and Stitches kill? I think Needles can kill 4 or 5. Well, he can kill anybody in your party. I don't know if their bodies show up, but he can kill anybody in your party, right? If you die to him. Stitches can't kill anybody, though. She doesn't leave. Well, you can die in the fight, right? But she can't, go out and kill people, so. Why do you have an arrow pointed at your head? Oh, right. It was the clock. There we go. I missed most of the stream. We've just been talking about lore. Who leaked the video? Oh, I don't know. It was just somebody on Reddit posted. If you Google Fear and Hunger, Furry Fear and Hunger, it'll probably come up, or DuckDuckGo. Do you think the cut enemy cancer will be in the update? Honestly, I don't know. Both these games have a lot of cut content, so it's sort of hard to know what's actually going to end up in the game. So, where do you get Fear and Hunger and Termina? Yes, they're both on Steam, but depending on your region, you might not be able to buy them. But they're both on Itch.io. You can definitely get them from Itch.io. So, Levi, Tanaka, Marina, Karen, and Marco. I think it's Olivia he can get. I don't know if he can get Marco. Karen annoyed me instantly. I killed her and promptly trapped in the train. Wow, Karen's like the best girl. What are you talking about? We're talking about lore, but we're not going to start talking about the lore. Yes, Fear and Hunger lore makes me go brrr. I love it. So, yesterday I was working on my upcoming video, right? And I was having a chat in the Fear and Hunger Discord in the lore section. I'm usually poking around in there. And there was a conversation. I mentioned something about Samarie. And then I realized that she... So, what I originally thought was that Samarie was being influenced by Ryla. Okay? Oh yeah, thanks for coming in, Toxic Radio. We appreciate it. You know how when you're talking to Samarie, and she says, I built this place for her when you see her under the church. And she's like, I built this place for her. I built this place for her. What are you doing? And you think she's talking about Marina, right? Because she's obsessed with Marina. And that's a weird thing for her to say. Really weird thing for her to say. Because she didn't build that place. She arrived 5 minutes ago. So what I thought was that she was being sort of not mind controlled, but influenced by logic. So she was being influenced by logic, and because logic built all the wooden stuff in Rare's realm, right? But we actually see her arms building it. And she's trying to get Olivia to come and join her, right? That's why she gets you on the train, is because she's trying to save Olivia. So I thought, oh, okay, so logic is actually spreading out and influencing everybody through Resram. Okay, that makes sense. But then I was thinking about it some more. And if that was the case, why does Samarie basically transform into Sulfur? When she transforms into Dysmorphia, right? Why does she transform into Sulfur? She does necromancy. Sulfur does necromancy. She has a halo. She says she's radiant, which is obviously a reference to the sun. And she has a single eye. And she also does the Sulfur T-pose, right? So it's like, why does she do that? If she's being influenced by logic, why does she do that? Because, well, she's not being influenced by logic. She's being influenced by sulfur. And logic is also being influenced by sulfur. And that was sort of what helped it really fall into place that logic is also part of sulfur's plan. So then there's two questions, right? So then we can take a look at both logic and Samarie's behavior to try and understand a bit more about what Sulfur wants. Because one of the big questions is, well, like, what the hell does Sulfur want, right? Why did he die? What does he want? What's going on, right? And so we can look at logic's behavior and Samarie's behavior to try and understand what's going on, right? Okay, so they're both obsessed. They're both trying to build something. Okay. Man in front of a border string. I have that picture. Here. Yeah, this picture. It's literally me. This is why I posted it yesterday, because I was like figuring all this shit out. It's like, this is me, right? This is me right now. Okay, so both of these characters are obsessed with her, in quotation marks. Who is her? They both have a her, right? And they're also building something. Or they think they're building something. In the case of Samarie, she thinks she's built something. She hasn't, but she thinks so. And so those are two questions we have to answer. Who is her? Who is Sulfur's her? And what is he building? Well, we know who Sulfur's her is. If Sulfur is Grogoroth, which I think is the case, then obviously the her is Sylvian. That's, it's Grogoroth and Sylvian, right? So he's built something for Sylvian. And the question is, what did he build? And there's a couple of options for that. When Sulfur took over, when he ascended and took over, he reestablished old god worship. Why did he do that? Because he wants humanity to love Sylvian. He wants humanity to love Sylvian. That didn't work. And we know he wants... Let me just keep going. I lay this argument out a lot better in the full video. I'm just talking off the cuff here, right? That didn't work when he became Alllmer, so he died. He sacrificed himself. Why did he sacrifice himself? That was always the big question. If Sulfur as Alllmer, the all-powerful god of humanity and of Mahab, died, why the hell did he die? What happened? He wasn't killed by a human because there wasn't another ascended god born from him. He just died. And his soul is now burning in hell. Why is that happening? Because he knew that humans can't understand the old gods, so he needs to change how humans can understand everything. He needs to take humans' mind by force and redirect it. So he needs to literally, like how an ascended god, when they ascend, they get the concept of a god and redirect it. He needs to do that literally to humans' mindset. And so that's what he's doing as Sulfur. But when he died, guess what? That didn't work either. It didn't work. Every single thing he's tried didn't work. And you know why we know that for certain? Is because Lagarde, he is the story of Sulfur told again. He is the same story told again. And Pocket Cat basically, you know how Pocket Cat always, he keeps saying like, stories keep repeating, stories keep repeating. He's talking about Lagarde there. Legard keeps desperately trying to ascend and change humanity, and keeps failing. And that's what Sulfur's doing. But, see, what happened next was that, okay, Sulfur was like, okay, this isn't working. I'm going to manipulate Legard into helping me realign humanity. And he tried doing that by ascending a new god, the god of fear and hunger, that didn't really work. It was better, but it didn't really work. So then he ended up manipulating Legard into building the Logic Project. How do we know Legard is a sulfur cultist? He's literally wearing sulfur yellow. He's a sulfur cultist, right? And he has the snake twirled around him. He wants to be sulfur. He's basically sulfur in human form. And the Logic Project, Legard wanted to sit on there, but he couldn't. He wasn't ever going to be allowed to sit on the throne of Logic. Instead, we have Ryla, who is much more easy to manipulate than Legard. Because Legard had his own ideas, he wanted to do his own thing, but Sulfur didn't want that. He didn't want to... And I think Sulfur understands that he couldn't become king of humanity. And so Legard couldn't become king of humanity either. Ryla could, because Ryla understands that love, if that makes sense. No, I haven't missed any gameplay. It's just been lore. Yes, so that's why Ryla had to become Logic, because she understands that love. She understands pulling people into herself, which is that Sylvian love. So the whole project of Sulfur. No offense, are you planning on doing a Fear and Hunger run this stream? Well, I was planning to, but I don't know if we will. So the whole project of Grogoroth and then Sulfur and then Legard and then Logic is to build a human that Sylvian can love. So if Logic works how they think Logic is going to work, then yes. Then they will have succeeded, and the whole project, and then the games would be over. It would be done. That would be it. It would be no more. I don't think it's going to work because we're going to get Fear and Hunger 3, right? But Logic is the completion to the human story. Logic is the end of the human story if it goes as planned. But I don't think it's going to go as planned, so... Is Fear and Hunger 3 confirmed? Yes. Miro has a story he wants to tell. And there is a third part to that story. Avatar fits his voice perfectly. Thank you. Not sure I agree with your logic. That's fine. That's fine. I do build up the argument a lot better in the actual video script. So, I will implore you to wait until that before completely disregarding my argument. But if you have any questions, I will try to answer them. Grogoroth's great plan is to cuck himself. No, see, he understands what he needs for survival. He needs Sylvian, and Sylvian left. Sylvian's gone, and without creation, there is no destruction. So he needs to bring her back somehow. First part was about gods. The second part was about humans. What would the third part, part 3, be? It's a good question. I mean, the games are about the gods and the gods' inability to understand humans and humans' inability to understand the gods. All of them are, so. What does Caligura Moonscorch represent? That he is a sexual monster in a bad way. And he loves it. I think having everyone inside Logic being potentially Moonscorch is basically sabotage. No, I don't think so. Because Moonscorch is from Sulfur's power anyway, and the whole thing is a Sulfur project, so... Sounds like a cope argument. There's Fear and Hunger 3, will we see Dan Pocket Cat? If it's set after Termina, then yeah, I fully believe we'll see Dan Pocket Cat. That's if it's set after Termina. It might not be. So, Do the hearts in the mayor's basement mean anything? That's a really tough one. That's a really tough one. I don't honestly know. So, Cold War era would be sick. I think people pointed out that's a bit too close to what we see in Termina, and I can kind of agree. It would be a little different, but probably not different enough, right? So the basic question, but can anyone tell me why Sylvian left in the first place? Sylvian just got mad at humans because they couldn't love her back. So, Sylvian's trying to make his wife a boyfriend. How do you feel about the theory that Abella is actually consumed by the woodsman's parasite when she becomes the giant? I think it's a different parasite. Because it's the same sort of parasite for sure, but I don't think it's actually the woodsman's parasite. I think it's a different one. Damn, it's been 2 hours, you haven't got to the game, I know, right? Hey, well, Vader, how you doing? Dropping by for a bit. We're talking about Fear and Hunger lore. Termina is like beginning of... Exactly, yeah. Termina is basically the beginning of Cold War, and there was some technological advancement between the games, but I don't think it's enough to justify a whole new game in what would be a very similar setting. Sylvian is a nice guy and they always finish last. How do you get the giant to spawn by leaving Abella to die to the woodsman? No, you get Abella, Abella doesn't die to the woodsman, she's in the bunker. The woodsman is still out in his house. He doesn't go near the bunker, so. Dude, fine, just finished editing a silly little video. It's like 2 in the morning. I was watching some of your videos. They're pretty funny, Wolvader. Wolvader does Limbus Company meme videos, which were pretty funny. Serious question: can Dan use diagnose on himself to figure out where his knife went wrong? I don't mind if it's lore, talk, or gameplay. Your voice works good for white noise. Oh, good. Anyone actually died to the woodsman? I don't think anybody canonically dies to the woodsman. Let me think. I know Tanaka can die to the woodsman, but that requires a specific setup. So I don't think that would be canon. Hard to tell, right? We don't see any other Moonscorch with detachable penis monsters. They can shoot like a Nerf gun, though. I assume the Peen Demon was unique to Woodsman's insecurities regarding Caleb. It's really hard to tell. We know very little about what the hell the parasite is, so... I think if the woodsman died after Abella Moonscorched, it would be different, but he doesn't. So... Which eyes are your real eyes? My eyes melted like a very long time ago. How do you think Sulfur will cope in the future? It's a good question. I don't think he's coping very well. I don't know, 1980s Cold War vibe would wreck. Terminator the Thing plus Satanic Panic, Old Gods research. That would be pretty sick. I gotta say, I love Gods. Storytelling devices in stories, myths, and their own face. It's basically teaching the concepts that are important to learn and respect. Oh yeah, absolutely. Only one specific cutscene where it's implied Tanaka dies to the woodsman, but then again, what can be considered canon and non-canon? That is a good point. We have no idea what's actually going to be considered canon or non-canon until we get Termina, Termina 2, Fear and Hunger Harder. So, and I think minor events like that, we just simply won't know for sure. You know? So it'll be tough to find out exactly what happened. I suspect we won't know what happened to most of the contestants. So. Meanwhile, my cluster headaches came back earlier this week. How many children are going to sacrifice to get rid of them? Well, at least one to Pocket Cat, so. Maybe it's canon Tanaka heroically died trying to save someone from a well. Yeah. Do you think we'll see people get moonscorched by Ryla or someone else in the new game, like Olivia turning a mechanical dance? I think, I don't know for certain, but I suspect that the puppet people in the museum are Logic's doing. But it's hard to know, so. Another theory I like your opinion on is Tanaka related to the dead samurai from Fear and Hunger. I don't know if there's enough to know, really. I think do we even know his name? The assassin? I don't know. We're getting erotophobia and Fear and Hunger technically you'd be afraid of all things Sylvian. Not all things, but most things, yeah. Imagine that logic will feature heavily in the next game, so perhaps some dystopian technocratic future. That would be... that's what people suspect. Miro doesn't like doing what people expect, though. So, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't count on anything, to be honest. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't count on anything. People expected Fear and Hunger 2 to be another medieval fantasy game, and then he comes out with World War II horror, which is a pretty amazing setting pick. The only thing he said about the third game is that it'll be, and people will knee-jerk dislike it. Which honestly I did when I first saw Termina. I was like, why would you pick that setting? I don't think that's a very good setting for a horror game, and it actually works pretty well. So you know, would it be possible for some characters from Termina to be reincarnated characters from 1? Reincarnation is, yeah. What I suspect is that it's their souls. So you get memories from the souls, right? Because the souls sort of thread through multiple people. So in that sense, yes, for sure. Fear and Hunger 3 will see characters again, both as normal Moonscorch and confirmed mimics, and none of it will be explained. What you mean? You mean like in Termina? You mean like exactly like in Termina? Miro did talk about the third game being more Shin Megami Tensei inspired. Oh, interesting. How much of the lore do you think is pre-planned versus how much of fan theories that connect the dots Miro never meant to be connected? I suspect a lot of it is very solid. I think the theories I come up with are very solid. Of course I would think that. But I do accept that I could be putting puzzle pieces together that don't really go together. That's why I always say at the end of my videos, like, if you think I'm wrong, please tell me why, because if I am wrong, I would like to not be wrong. But I do think that Miro is actually very good at putting this lore together. It feels very... There's a lot of things that I haven't found much that doesn't really have any solid answers. Doppelgangers are one. I think doppelgangers are probably the biggest thing that doesn't really have an answer because they were added last minute, and Miro has straight up said that there's some things that aren't answered in game yet that he's going to be adding in updates. And I'm pretty sure doppelgangers are one. Man in Black is another thing, but I think there's definitely enough hints to Man in Black that we could probably... We probably can't piece it together yet. I suspect there'll be Man in Black lore in the next update because of the Black Caleb teasers, so... Well, thanks for coming in, Chris. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'll catch you later. I think none of the contestants' souls are dominating. A coincidence, I suppose. Lex Hoop was too OP. I feel like Fear and Hunger 3 may be probably set during the colonial period, which would be super cool. That would be pretty sick. Just realized it was Ryla at the start of the game making cubes. Yeah, Ryla pops up a lot, so. I wonder if the doppelgangers are related to the cloning machine from one of the... Oh, that's interesting. Maybe. I didn't think about that. Yeah, because the things that Vautiel made didn't have souls, did they? And the doppelgangers don't have souls. Interesting. We're gonna get more Moonless lore? I don't know. Do we need more Moonless lore? I think we know all about Moonless. And how many fan theories do you think Miro has heard and just ran with because it works so well? There's an art to leaving things vague enough for the community to do your work for you. I don't know, actually. In Termina, there haven't been major updates to the lore yet. Like, there's been no updates to add stuff to the lore, so we can't tell for Termina. For the first game, I wasn't part of the community in the first game, so I don't know what theories were prominent back then. Don't think anybody asked, but how's your day? My day's been good. And how you doing? It's a me, an original joke. I usually wake up and stream straight away, so I don't really have much time to have a bad day before a stream. So everyone needs more Moonless. Can we get more Moonless? Period. Yeah, we need more about Puppy. Okay, that's fair. Fair. Do a video on the Moonscorch. I'd like to do a video about Rare. I feel like I want to do a video about Logic and I want to do a video about Rare, but I feel like I'm sort of answering those questions in answering those questions as I'm making other ones. So I don't know. We'll see. Midas is an even bigger doggo, and Fear and Hunger 3 be the best thing ever. Midas about to pull a Sif next game. Guarding Ragavald's tomb. That'd be funny. My opinion, doppelgangers are the most horrifying type of myth and creature. They get under my skin. Ever since the classic Another Mother Trope. Yeah, they are pretty spooky, aren't they? Pumps all bones to be a better person to question with this line of inquiry. What do you mean? Rareware. Never play Fear and Hunger, but because of you, I'll play tomorrow. So God have mercy on my soul. Good luck, Leonardo. I hope you have fun. If you don't have fun, well, that's kind of the point of the game. So, is there any way to find or confront Henrik after he kills everyone in the poisoning scene? Oh, that's a good question. I think he moonscorches immediately after that. So I think you can only see him as the gentleman. I think. I don't remember. Hold up, since there are 24 soul types, we have 14 in Tamina and 4 in part 1. Maybe we'll have 6 for part 3. There's some overlap between the souls. And there's no reason why we can't just have NPCs that aren't playable, you know, with extra souls. But, you know, there's no reason why we can't do that, right? Fascinates me you start the day streaming. Very different from most streamers. Well, it's just because I need to do it early because most of my audience is American and European, right? So having fun in Fear and Hunger run? Preposterous. How can you get him to poison everybody? So what you do is you rescue Henrik in the morning, right? Which means that a Bella Moon scorches, unfortunately. Then when you go into town, you have to poke around. There's a restaurant there. Not the Bop, the restaurant. I believe it's just north of the Bop, I think it is. I could be wrong in the exact placement though. I can't remember exactly where it is. And then you go back and talk to Henrik, you say there's a restaurant there, go check it out. And then you find after you've found the Bop, you go and talk to him again when he's in the restaurant and say, hey, there's a club there, go there. And then when there's other people resting at the Bop, I don't remember how long it takes for him to do it, but he'll poison everybody there and leave. So. What's the setting you'd hate most for Fear and Hunger 3? I think sci-fi might end up missing the point too much. Like going full sci-fi, like spaceship and stuff like that. I don't think that would work very well. I think you have to be careful with any other fantasy stuff because it would end up might being too similar to the first game. I don't know. I don't think there's settings that I particularly dislike, right? I think outside of Europe wouldn't work very well. It just feels too European for me, right? But it could probably work, you know. Miro's proven that he can make settings work that you wouldn't expect to work, so. But I think I wouldn't want it set outside of Europe, so. Yeah. This is a date scene. How we doing? How we doing, guys? Look into my my glasses. Fear and Hunger with Twitter is the worst case scenario. How do you speedrun to me to get them juicy photos? Done 3 endings and beaten Masochist mode, but I'm tired of doing the whole game over and over again. To get the photos, you need to get ending B. So unfortunately, you just need to play the game. Sorry. My theory is that Henrik didn't intend to poison everybody. He doesn't seem to be malicious and he could be framed or do it by accident somehow. Apparently, you can see him walking around the city before he does it. And if you have mind read, you can tell that he's planning to do it, so. What about Vinland? Isn't that just the US? Vinland is sort of all fucked up with no human settlement, so. Putting 3 delving into Abyssonia and being like Far Cry would be cool. It would be cool. Miro said it's not likely because there's no human settlement there. There's no human ruins there, rather. And human ruins are sort of really important for Fear and Hunger games. So it's not likely. Finland's in North America. I feared with Sergals. Yeah, it's got Sergals. Lots of Sergals. My theory is everyone in these games has to hots for each other because according to the fan art, this is a dating sim. Absolutely true, yeah. Yep. It's actually a really elaborate dating sim. Eastern Sanctuaries. Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad, I suppose. Definitely have lots of old ruins. That would be cool. I do prefer Europe, though. I think Europe's just a lot more interesting than anywhere else. If I score high enough and the more they do dating sim, you unlock the more they made of it. Well, the cube is in Finland and there's ruins inside of the depths. Yes, but they're not human ruins. Is Rare watching the humans comparative to someone being told to watch a bunch of ants? Yes, it basically is, yeah. I even think Rare was told to watch humans and look after them. And not fuck with them too much. That's why he doesn't interact. Because his minions are prevented from interacting too much too. For whatever reason, so. Hey, Queen Iconic. I just joined and I can see Marina stop by. Yeah, she did this lovely carving. Henry doesn't seem malicious. My guy, he's the most mysterious of the contestants. He refuses to reveal any sort of information about his life beyond being a chef. Even August is less mysterious. That's true. August is less mysterious. Real question time. How do you want to see Nash Wright in part 3? Well, if it is in the future, I would love to see him as a floating jar head. I think that'd be funny as. What's the map for Fear and Hunger Universe? It's basically the same as ours. Yeah, we see a map in... where is it? Nostradamus's lair, I believe. And it's basically how our world looks, so... You think we'll ever see Enki in the update or in 3 or nah? Nah, I think Enki's. I think there's specifically a line between games. You know, it's not out of the question, right? But it just feels like because it's set on, you know, on the other side of the continent, so it just. And we honestly don't know where Enki is. And I think that might end up answering too many questions. And Mira doesn't like answering questions, so. Oh, hang on. I'm going to blow my nose. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Ugh. Oh, no. Goddamn stream elements. Why does it do this every time? It pulls up old members. I appreciate members, but I don't like stream elements just pulling up old members out of nowhere. Sorry, I gotta blow my nose. 1 second. Oh. Enki got hit by a car and died in 1927. Yeah. Poor Enki. I wonder if Nostradamus exists in this universe in some form. Nostradamus. Oh, could be. We see some other famous figures like Chekhov exists. Also, Homer exists. Mira makes Enki show up in Fear and Hunger 3, but he tells the player to fuck off. That would actually be perfect for Enki. It would actually be perfect for Enki. I think August would do sick tricks on a skateboard while doing root parkour. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he would. Enki's probably vibing in the... I think he was. But then during the archaeological expeditions... No, he got his books out a lot earlier than that, didn't he? I don't know when, because his books are famous enough that the pre-Heval priests are writing about them. They seem to be considered the go-to for religious education, the skin Bibles. So much so that the church has actually re-edited their own versions of them and distributed them instead. So I guess you would have gotten them out a while ago. The dungeon is kind of famous for being a weird spot anyway. There's been lots of archaeological expeditions there. Thanks for coming in, Raspberry. Really appreciate it. Imagine how many kids Kahara had. Like, could have had a main character be really that far down to the center of the tree. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It really wouldn't be surprising. I wouldn't be surprised if Karen was a distant descendant, right? Enki is a limbo state between mortal and godhood. Yes, he definitely is. He's weird. He's in a really weird state. Enki secretly controls the Vatican. He skinned himself to make the skin Bibles. Yeah, I can see that. Doesn't Kahara share a soul with Karen? Yes, they do share it. The endless soul. Yeah, there's a couple that are shared. There's Ragnvalder, who is almost explicitly August's ancestor. Karen, what's the other one? Enlightened Soul is Osar and Enki share the Enlightened Soul. There isn't a Domination Soul, I believe. Why is Enki in weird limbo? What did they miss? Oh, in his S ending, he sat on the throne to become a new god, but since he used the soul anchor, his soul wasn't cooked in the green hue. So he got immortality without the massive power boost and then without the drawbacks of becoming a new god. So, being Karen is a whore too, like Kahara and Nuven? No, she isn't actually. There is hints of a romance between her and a mysterious man who she doesn't name. I think he's not named. But no, she doesn't sleep around as much as them. So. Bekahara, is the consensus that he got the A ending? It's either him or Das got the A ending. We don't know for sure. But it definitely wasn't Enki, and it almost certainly wasn't Ragnvalder. So, how much did I miss? We've just been talking about lore for 2 hours, so. Her Moonscorch is carrying a train of bellends. Don't call it a train. She's a Valkyrie. She's a Valkyrie. She's or a Valkyrie or a vulture. She's not having a train running over by bellends. Don't call it a train. My wife Karen is pure. You got it? Pure. Started running Fear and Hunger. What's the best character to start with? Not Ragnvalder, and Enki is probably a bit hard for a beginner. Kahara or Das are good for beginners for the first game. And then you gotta die a lot no matter what you do, so just accept that. Probably Das. Kahara will take the kid, realize he has to play for her things, and just sacrifice her. Karen may not be a whore, but she is a whore in spirit due to how annoying her shtick is. Not Rag? No. Rag skills are bad. Rag skills are very bad. Looks more like a harpy. Yes, the painting is based on a harpy, but it's also, she specifically talks about being a Valkyrie, and someone else calls her a vulture. So it's got those themes in there too. Osar versus Marina in terms of starting character. Marina, definitely. Osar is difficult because he can't use guns. And he relies a lot more on magic. His skills lend themselves much better than magic, and that's I feel like magic is a bit more complex for a newer player. Marina obviously still does, lean towards magic, but not as strongly as Osar, right? Maiko's very shrimp. You just punch people to death. Marco is probably the best starting character. He's one of the best characters in the game. Marco, he's too good. And I actually think he should probably get a little bit nerfed, old Marco. Or everybody else buffed to keep up with him, right? At least I say you can read Nashra dissing on literary... Osar... Nashra is one of the best features of the game, right? Best data character for Furry and Grogoroth 1? Yeah, I reckon Kahara or Das. They're both really good. Marco needs buffs? Marco does not need buffs. Is it stated that there is a god of time in Fear and Hunger? No, actually, now you mention it. No, there isn't. As far as I'm aware, let me think. Is there a god of time? No, and there's no god of space either. So maybe they are inherent to the universe. No game? Probably no game today. Micah needs to be able to do a TOD? What is a TOD? Is it a JoJo reference? Fanushka is the god of time? God of time. Oh no, Fanushka is the god of time. That's shocking. Took the day to nerd out about lore. Yeah, it's important to do that sometimes, isn't it? Mako goes, on everything. He does, yeah. So space and time are the same thing, so they are the same god who fucked off after getting bored with humans. Are they the same thing? I thought Kant was pretty clear that they were different things. Post-apocalyptic Fear and Hunger would be a good one too. That would be neat. Miro did say there won't ever be a true apocalypse, like an end of the universe. So that's why I don't think Logic's plan actually... the plan for Logic will actually work properly. There's no end game situation, right? That's probably not going to happen. The stakes will always be smaller. Well, have a big impact, but it's not like you're not going to be fighting and like, oh, we need to stop this guy or it's the end of the universe. It's not going to be that. It's going to be like, yeah, we're at this crux of this situation where some heavy shit is happening, but if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. So... Missy bought my friend Termina and he picked Marco, kept going for headshots and died to a death mask. He says he's going to have fun. Yeah, death mask will do that. Ooh. The stakes are Sulfur's marriage. Yeah, it is. The suffering doesn't end, Miro. What's with that one living clothes pile? That is, I think it's a representation of Sulfur physically incarnating. Is what I think it is. But that's just a gut feeling. There's very little proof about what the fuck the what's it called again? I forgot what it's called. But yeah, I don't think it's... I think it's something to do with Sulfur incarnating, which is why it can't be killed, because it's like the toe of an old god or something, or the tongue of an old god. Ugh. I think Logic will be corrupted by Sulfur in 3. Logic is already corrupted by Sulfur. That's the thing. And it won't be obvious in 3. It's never fucking obvious. It's never obvious. The law is never obvious. Okay? In Termina is Miro grabbing the player and shaking them, saying, look, Grogoroth is the sun god. Look, Sulfur is behind everything. This is what Miro thinks is grabbing the player and shaking them. And it's going to take me 5 months of thinking of nothing but Fear and Hunger lore to untangle this shit. Like, this is what Miro thinks is obvious. Goodness gracious. Irrational obelisk. Yeah, that's it. Irrational obelisk. Yes, yes. Nothing in Fear and Hunger 3 will be obvious. Nothing. It won't explain anything. It'll take me a year to piece together the lore after the game comes out. And then he'll release an update that will completely change everything, and I just get pissed off again and then make another fucking hour-long video about it. God damn it. But look at this, right? Look at this, right? He's such a cheeky bugger. Look at this, right? Where is it? Here. Look at this, right? In the first 5 minutes of the game, there's this, right? There's this. Look at this, right? Let me get my pointer out. Here. Get my pointer out. Look at this, right? God of the Depth sigil, right? God of the Depth sigil on this cube, and also the God of Fear and Hunger sigil, right? Alllmer sigil, but we can't see what's on the other side. You know what other sigils there are? There's the Sulfur sigil, and we can't really tell what's going on here, right? So, sorry, not Sulfur. Grogoroth, right? The only symbols we see on the cubes in the intro are Depths, Fear and Hunger, and Grogoroth Alllmer. This is him. This is what Miro thinks is slapping you in the face, telling you. It's like, yes, everybody's showing the cubes again. Oh boy, Mao's got his cubes out again. So yes, this is the game saying, look, they're the same god. They're the same god. Which two Moose Quest contestants would be acquaintances at best, and which two absolutely hate each other? I think they're basically the same as the regular people, right? The cubes. The cubes! Oh. One thing I'm not certain of, but is Preheval supposed to exist over the locations of the Dungeons of Fear and Hunger? No. It's the other side of Europe. The Dungeons of Fear and Hunger are over in England. In southern England, I think. They say southern or northern, and I can't remember which one they say. And Preheval is in Bohemia, basically Eastern Europe, so. Maybe treating Termina like his House of Leaves. Forcing poor lore enthusiasts to have dream revelations about sulfur lore is Miro's idea if I made it obvious. I wish that statement was right. Actually, I don't. That statement's actually hilariously correct. I literally had the revelation about Sulfur being Grogoroth, or Grogoroth being the sun god, while I was half asleep. So, you know, go figure. If Legard is symbolically Sulfur, does that make Sulfur is also the girl's dad or stepdad? The dad that stepped up, second dad. Good question. I have to think about that one. Most likely southern France. A lot of the people in the first game have Frenchish names. No, Rondon is composed of France, what we call France and England. I believe the dungeon is explicitly said to be on the islands, though. I do need to reread it and check it out, though. But I do believe it is in southern England. Pretty sure Preheval's location is directly based on Prague of Czech Republic. Yes, it is. I think the dungeon's supposed to be in like Turkey or something. No. No, it's very, very explicitly in England or perhaps France, I guess. What sigil you carve yourself with? This is the sigil of fear and hunger. So I can go fast. Watch. Watch, I'll go fast. Yo. Yo. Whoop. Yo. Yo. There we go. Are the French already moon scorched passively? How much do you think the God of Fear and Hunger knows of Grogoroth's plans? Probably a lot. It's really hard to tell. We don't speak to her. So she probably knows. She probably does. Because she's basically his equal now. There might be a little power gap between them, but it's so hard to tell. We just know so little about what they're thinking and planning, right? So what's the lore of the Bobbies? That's a really good question. I don't know. I think they're the result of Moonscorch experiments by the Brahmins. And weird timed fuckery. It's very weird. Very weird. The Legard and Grogoroth are gay step-parents for the girl. It's canon because I had revelations of her half-baked excuse. Legard is literally the girl's father. Now, as zoomies, watch out. Just realized Enki is British. He was my fave character. I think it's never said where Enki actually comes from. So he could be, and he travels a lot before going to the dungeons. Because he travels to the libraries of Rondon to find out more, and then he goes to the dungeon. Enki is a... Where's that name from? It's from Sumeria, isn't it? So he could be... It could just be the Black Priest being weirdos and calling him a Sumerian name. Or he could actually be from, like, the Middle East. But I don't think we know exactly where he's from. His ancestors in the Book of Memories do look like friars, though. So he could be European. He's probably European, and they just have weird names. But you know, there's a lot going on there, right? Do you think all the time fuckery is due to there not being a god ruling over it? No. I think it's just that time is one of the forces of nature that is different in each reality, and we step between realities a lot. So space and time are different in Mahab than they're different in our world, and they're different in the green hue, and they're different in the void. So it's, you know. Heard of the SCP entry Un-London? No, I haven't. Sounds interesting. Enkidu is Sumerian, yes. Enki's so pasty, he's probably from Northern Europe. He could be, yeah. See, where Vinland is, where it's been a minute since summer started. I found that. I feel like a great idea. Vinland is America. North America, at the very least. We don't know if they've ever been to South America, or if they even know South America exists. So, hello, am I back? Are we back? I think we're back. Okay, sorry, my net just dropped out for a minute there. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, it just completely dropped there for a good 30 seconds on my end, I think. Anyway. What were we talking about? We're talking about something. Also, Sylvian and Grogoroth are supposed to be like Greek deities of Gaia and chaos. I'm sure they draw... Miro often will use different ideas from lots of different religions for his stuff. I believe the main ones they're based off of are the what are they called again? I've forgotten the name. The Hindu triumvirate, is that what they're called? With like I've forgotten all their names. Sorry, it's been a minute since I looked into the Hindu trinity of gods, and Venushka is the third part of that. You know, the creator, the maintainer, and the destroyer, right? But of course, Miro doesn't just draw from one tradition when he writes this stuff. But that's the main core of it. So every time I see Marco picture funk music and Yara Yara does this, I sit in my head. The guy is a terrible father. He only acknowledges his daughter when removing her limbs. Yes, the girl had a hard life. The girl had a very hard life, and we should feel sorry for her, but she helped humanity a lot, so she still has some goodness left in her somehow. She's a good girl. Enkidu was a Sumerian homunculus who was in a relationship with the goddess of law and fertility, Ishtar. Fun fact, Enkidu was a genderless being. Oh, really? Interesting. That might explain why Enki is kind of, what's the word? A bit more feminine. No, wait, I'm getting confused with Nostradamus again, aren't I? Androgynous, that's the one, yeah. Enki's kind of androgynous. Nostradamus is very androgynous, on purpose. It's a hard knock life for her. Ro's one person that hates their job but does it anyway. Yeah, he seems like he is. Twink? No. Gay, emo. Enki is weird. Enki is weird. He likes having sex with ghouls, I guess. More there, the twisted form of earlier transformations of the girl remind me of the Greek-Roman myth of Arachne. I can see that. Did Logic kill a god when she ascended like the girl? No. No. Logic very specifically does not use the power of the gods to ascend. Logic is a... This is assuming that Lagarde's plan went through. It may not have. But as far as the evidence shows, Logic did not use a god to ascend. What Logic is a parallel kind of system. Like, so the original system is we have the green hue, and the old gods come from the green hue, and they came to our world, and then they made the new gods who rule over humans. Logic made an artificial green hue and is both the king of the new Mahab and the green hue itself. The green hue is... Well, actually, no, we do see a distinction there. When we talk about Logic, people often talk about the whole system, but there's actually a distinction. Telelectroscopes are the tendrils that stretch out and pull human souls in. Logic is the linchpin between that system and the artificial green hue, which is a massive computational system, but to our perspective appears like heaven. Heaven. It's the promised land. And the Logic of Ryla is the linchpin between those two systems. Yeah. And it's really interesting that it's called the artificial green hue, because it suggests that it will make a parallel system where new gods are born from it. So, wasn't Logic made to circumvent the trap of the new gods? Yeah, well, Logic was made to circumvent the whole old god system. Lagarde wanted new power completely separate from that of the old gods. So, those monsters will come from the artificial... Which monsters do you mean? What if someone bombs the computer green hue? I think it might be impossible to do that now. It's Lane all over again. I am hungry. I am scared. The door to Logic chamber connecting the Hall of the Gods is ominous. Oh, yeah. I think it would be very difficult to actually kill Logic at this point. It's starting to bend reality, and once it fully wakes up, I think the whole thing will just sort of melt reality around it, so... Who is Logic? Ryla, Olivia's sister, is Logic. So, something along the lines of Gods of the Unknown category. It's a completely separate system. So it's like if you think of the existing old gods and the green hue as a gas stove, Logic is an electric stove. It does a similar thing, but it's different. So, hey Alex, how you doing? Can Logic be DDoSed? Why did the telelectroscope's appearance become so strange in Rare's realm? I think that's just because it's closer to what they actually act like, is that they're big tendrils of Logic stretching out across the world. Might just go back and watch a 16-hour double streamer for Apollo Worm Girl. That is some big streams, isn't they? So if an old god like the God of the Depths is able to be usurped, could that be true of the others? Yes, we haven't seen an ascended god. So the God of Fear and Hunger and Sulfur, we haven't seen them be usurped. So it's not clear if they can be. They probably could be, but it's not clear if they can be. The other old gods definitely can be. So Sylvian, Rare, Grogoroth. Grogoroth did get usurped. God of the Depths. Venushka could be too. Real question is, where does a Janna fit into this? That is a good question. Olivia's sister is Logic? For real? Absolutely, yeah. Forgetting the names of those things. The Fear and Hunger one Blights. Oh, yes. They are Lizardmen new gods. They're very old. Very old. They're older than Alllmer. So. 2.5 hours into stream, yo. Let's go. Who usurped Grogoroth? No. Grogoroth was the sun god. And Alllmer was born from him. Grogoroth kind of hot? You reckon? Guess he's big and bulky, isn't he? Actually, I just exported the picture of him for my use in... Where did I put that? He does look pretty cool. Look at this big bulky dude. I'll be Grogoroth for a minute. Yeah. There we go. Now I'm Grogoroth. Oh, yeah. So new gods are not ascended gods. They're very different. New gods are basically superhumans. When new gods are born, they are crazy strong. Like, think Superman, basically. Superman at his height is basically what a new god is when they're born. After a while, they do start... Their power starts fading very dramatically. And they're still basically like, they're immortal. And they're probably still a lot stronger than a regular human. But, like how Nashra is a decapitated head and can float around. Can he even still float around? I don't know, actually. Grogoroth wearing lipstick? He kind of is, isn't he? It's probably blood. Malgoroth. Makes me wonder, since the Logic ending just automatically integrates you into the hue, I wonder if we get a new ending from the update. Would be cool to see the new hue. I don't think we're going to get many answers with a new... too many answers, unfortunately. The more we know about new gods, the more they seem like they look like demon princes from Warhammer. Kinda. The mouth and the chest needs to move. He's just a raised... Yeah, he is just a raised... Oh, that's right, because Osada throws him into the water, doesn't he? Can I shop this really quick, actually? Hang on, let me see. So if we were to say blow up the moon, that means no more Termina contests, right? Probably, yeah. This is going to be really crappy if I do this, but that's okay. hang on. Lane was a really good show, wasn't it? Should we watch Lane at some point? Boop, 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 boop. Okay. 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 One sec. One sec. One sec. I need a. You just find this. This is so dumb. Okay, okay. Okay, okay, here we go, here we go. There we go. I'm Grogoroth now. Oh man, that's great. Let's fucking Grogoroth! Oh man. Okay, that's great. I love it. He's happy, yay! Now the Ascended one. I got a Grogoroth VTuber, yeah. Oh, okay. I love it. Now Delphinish gonna tidy his room. Now spends so much time thinking the sun god is becoming. Exactly, exactly. Can you use this next time you stream? Sure. Can we see the true form? What do you mean? Malgoroth. Yeah. How would Caligura be as an ascended god? I think you should replace the girl as a god of fear and hunger. It'd be funny. It would be really funny. Free pipe bombs for everybody. Everyone just knows how to make a pipe bomb. Do one with the sulfur next time. The tongue. When you talk, the tongue wiggles out. That's funny as. So they're just a lore stream? Yeah, we've been almost going for 3 hours. I don't think we're actually playing today. Oh, man. That's great. Oh. Do I have that? Hang on, do I have that that sulfur thing? I have one of those sulfur images exported. Do I have... I can grab another one. What song is this? Green ambience. Oh, is this what plays when you're actually in the green hue? I think it is. There you go. Okay. Let's go. Sulfur. Here we go. God, this is so dumb. Oh, okay. The tongue is a separate image. I'll have to set that up later, I think. Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to set that up later. It's a good idea, though. You should start playing Fear and Hunger for the last 5 minutes of stream. Make it cut out abruptly. We can do that. Sulfur's tongue. Why does he do that snaky thing with it? Also, is the Sulfur ending secretly the best ending? It's better than ending B, that's for sure. Why does his tongue do that? I honestly don't know. I'm honestly not sure. It's bizarre. It's really weird. I thought he meant, does he have maid outfit Grogoroth somewhere? Oh, no, I don't have maid outfit Grogoroth. I wish I did. That'd be funny as. Are you even sure that's the Sulfur God? We kind of have to be. That's sort of the thing about Fear and Hunger, is that you have to accept something as true until we find out otherwise, and we haven't found out otherwise. So, and there's actually other hints that yes, that is sulfur. You know, with the writings about a sulfur sun being under his soul being sent down, and Percolade mirrors that. So it is. There's no evidence against it, basically. So, sulfur likes licking people's faces through his eye hole. But his tongue did that as snake imagery. Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, he's like tasting the air. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Interesting, interesting. Fun fact, Sulfur does the tongue thing because he studied with Sylvan cultists. Why is looking at Grogoroth making me hungry? Someone say made effort? Yeah, that's someone's Emmy all the time. Looking at the full roster of the Hall of the New Gods, females are certainly underrepresented. A lot of them we can't even tell what gender they are, so. And the vast majority are hooded anyway, so. Do you feel like Sulfur is just another of Rare's tricks to keep humanity down? And if logic is like the god of Fear and Hunger playing 4D chess to elevate humanity? Could be. Grogoroth kind of bad though. Weird tongue thing like the neighbors do. Yes, it's very similar. The neighbors are definitely linked to Sulfur, for sure. What air is there to taste in hell? It all tastes like smoke, sulfur, shit, and fire. Well, the souls are down there now, so maybe he's tasting your soul. Ooh. Lizardhead new god of the hall is Vitruvia. Honestly, it could be. I think that would be really funny if it was. Vitruvia does seem to have a keen interest in what's happening, so we wouldn't put it past Miro to make that Vitruvia. Oh no, he's hot. Basically searching for breast identification. I think you might run into trouble saying that these days. If Rare is gone to, why is Pocket Cat still working for him? Well, if Rare is gone, the Traces still functionally act like the god anyway. They just get weaker over time. Grogoroth has been dead for 2,000 years and he's still really strong. So it's, you know, from our perspective, there's really no difference between a god and its Traces in how they function. So it wouldn't matter much to Pocket Cat, really. Souls definitely have a taste and probably aura associated with their archetypes. Okay. Now explored the lore so much he's ascended as an old god. So what if you mean combustion? Exactly, yes, that's right. Grogoroth had all the original fire spells. They're all Vitruvias now. Venushkas now. Fear and Hunger Rule 34? That doesn't surprise me at all. That really doesn't surprise me. Oh! I didn't intend to talk about lore all day today, but hey, whatever, it works. Pocket Cat still has all the benefits from working for Rare. Why would he stop? Exactly, he does. He benefits a lot from working with Rare. He gets to do whatever he wants. Rare is good at picking people who want what he wants. It seems. I disagree that the older gods die, they're absolute concepts. Depths still exist, it just became part of the concept of Fear and Hunger. Oh yeah, absolutely. So when we say die, it means their physical form dies. Which is different from the concept. What the Ascended God does, when the God ascends, basically what they're doing is that they kill their physical form, or their physical form is dead somehow, and then what they do is they jack the concept into a new physical form, and that way they can tweak it a little bit, which is what happened with the god with Fear and Hunger and Depths. So yes, when there is the argument between Enki and the Black Priests of Pre-Evil about, oh, gods can die, gods can't die, gods can die, gods can't. They're talking past each other. They're talking about two completely different things. So when we say gods die, it's not the actual concept. It's their physical form. So Pocket has a license that Rod Swanson says that I can do whatever I want, basically, yeah. Funny that more they gets more viewers that for Apollo playing Lobotomy Corp hasn't done anything but talk. I love for Apollo. Oh yeah, so people just like watching certain things. I get much lower viewers whenever I'm not doing Fear and Hunger stuff too, so it happens. Viewers, that's why some streamers will only ever play certain games, because that's what people want to watch. And if you're not playing it, it doesn't matter how much they like you, they just won't watch. So I say Rare is 100% still around, because why would a trickster god leave his main form of entertainment? Yeah, basically. I wonder if Grogoroth having Venushka's spells in Fear and Hunger 1 could be interpreted as the traits that are usually associated with gods might change over time, as real-life religion did many times in history. Could be. Yeah, it could be people's perceptions. They sort of started acknowledging Venushka more. And so it just made more sense that fire was part of nature, so... Is Alllmer gone too? No, he's still around. Look at the death of an old god as the idea it represents being fundamentally changed. Like the god of Fear and Hunger taking parts from depths, making it based around humanity. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Favorite argument is when people talk past each other, it's funny. We need more of it in Fear and Hunger. Yeah. Did gods even have a physical form though? Yes, they explicitly did have a physical form, yes. We actually straight up see sulfurs in the first game. And that body even rots over time. Hey, Bull, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. Really appreciate it. Yeah, thanks. Thank you for liking my avatar. Well, this one isn't my avatar, but yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it. What Rare has influence over? Dreams, the Night, Truth and Lies. He's a weird one. Would Nashra play Fortnite, or is he more of a Valorant guy? He'd play Fortnite. I think he likes destroying structures a lot as well. Maybe Valorant, because there's like more fire stuff in Valorant, isn't there? Enjoy the little bits, man. Have a great stream. Look forward to your fun. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. That sounds like a nightmare. Imagine an eternity performatively playing the same game for an audience over and over. I'm glad you can diversify. Yeah, it happens. You know, even if you're playing the same game over and over again, it's still a pretty fucking good job, isn't it? You know, it's still a good job. Speaking of gods, which one is your favorite? I like Sulfur a lot. Fear and Hunger is pretty cool. I would like to know more about her. I would like to know more about Fear and Hunger. But I like Sulfur a lot. I think he's cool. Honestly, the thing that makes me believe Alllmer Sulfur switcheroo is that it's something that happened in Mandela Catalogue, which is referenced a lot in Termina. It did happen in Mandela Catalogue, didn't it? It did. I like Mandela Catalogue too. It's got some really good shots. Like, holy crap, it's got some amazing shots in Mandela Catalogue. Uh-oh, bad decision, Mark. That's brilliant. I love that. That's so good. Why is there a tag called Marina Build? What's some of your favorite horror media? That's a good question. I like a few different horror movies. I really like the Saw series, to be honest. Even the ones that other people don't like, I usually like them. Except for Jigsaw, that was shit, and Spiral, that had a really shit ending. Spiral. But the mainline Saw series was pretty banger. Holds up really well, I think. I really like Resident Evil 7 and 8. I haven't played the rest, but I loved 7 and 8. I just like indie horror as well. I like a lot of indie horror games, like obviously Fear and Hunger. I miss Intruder from Old Mandela. I'm a Zoomer? I am a Zoomer, yeah. Sorry. Well, their favourite TV show is Shaun the Sheep. My sheep have been so annoying lately. Do you remember that Ashrar was trying to restore his body through some sort of blood ritual instead of resorting to Sylvian? He was trying to do a, it's a very similar ritual to what Sylvian does, to be honest. What he was trying to do in the gutter. How fucked would Moonscorch alternates be? they'd be overdriven alternates, wouldn't they? They'd be overdriven. Who do you think can chokeslam Grogoroth? Sulfur for sure. He's basically a wrestling. Well, he doesn't. Or actually, no, he doesn't have hands, does he? Well, maybe not then. Do you like any of the Doom games? I haven't played them. I almost played the new one, but I wasn't that interested. Oh, do you have a Moonscorch form? I don't, actually. People keep asking me about it, and I keep thinking about it, but I really need to sit down and design it one day, hey? Do I have a link to the Fear and Hunger server? Yes, I do, actually. Let me just grab that for you. Here is the official Fear and Hunger Discord. And here is the official More They Do Discord. If Sulfur was one behind the wheel of Alllmer's body, what happened to Alllmer during that time? There was no Alllmer, actually. There was just Sulfur. Alllmer is a lie. The cake is a lie, guys. In the Fear and Hunger universe, the American colonization never happened. Well, it has technically started by the time of Termina. There is at least one camp. How developed it is and how long it's been there exactly, I don't think is known. But it's very, very limited. Very limited. Mao does have an incredibly normal doppelganger form. I don't have a doppelganger form. What are you talking about? Who do you think can chokeslam Sulfur? Venushka would have been a good bet if Venushka wasn't dead. Fear and Hunger probably would, I reckon. Well, she doesn't have arms. Oh, I don't know then. Oh, Sylvian, of course. Sylvian could. And Sulfur would enjoy that, so. Remember, many gods are genderless, so it makes sense a person who is androgynous would be associated with that culturally. In Fear and Hunger. I believe there's only 2 gods that we know of that are genderless in Fear and Hunger. I could be wrong, though. That's Venushka, and I think Depths was referred to... I think Depths was genderless as well. I could be wrong. I'm trying to remember. Venushka, I think, is referred to as a he and a she. I'm trying to remember that too. It's very specific, isn't it? Venushka is dead, yes. As we find out, Venushka died. Logic's giant robot form from the bunker chasm could easily check themselves. Let's go! And it looks exactly like Megas XLR, except it's a tank instead of a car at the top. Yo, Occam's Taser, thank you very much for the membership. Really appreciate it. Oh, I should turn my notifications back on, shouldn't I? There we go. Well, let me join Mao Discord. Oh, really? Hang on. Let me check that link. Discord is apparently killing permanent links for non-community service. No, it should let you work. Yeah, the invite still works. How did Venushka die? We don't know. All we know is that there was some sort of conflict between humanity and nature, and Venushka lost. That's sort of all we know about it. And so nature is slowly fading. So Grogoroth ain't got any junk. That's why Sylvian left him. Sylvian has both sets and created Venushka through self-impregnation. Well, no, we actually see them having sex. Hang on, let me grab that. I'll pull that shit up. Pull that shit up, Jamie. Where is it? Here. Grogoroth probably has a PP. See? Look. Sex. This Grogoroth design is sick, though, isn't it? It's so sick. Goodbye. That's enough. That's enough lewd stuff for you guys today. Oh. Being quite new in Fear and Hunger Circus, so I'll certainly join the Discord. Thank you very much, Mayasuki. Not Mayasuki. Masayuki, thank you very much. He's gonna type tentacles. Yeah. The boys' flashbacks. God of the Depths is referred to as male and female in-game. I think Orange said that he just forgot to remove the female pronouns from an earlier version of the game like he did with Nostradamus. Oh, okay. That's weird. Was that the naughty? That was very naughty, yes. Yes, that's literally a sex scene, Emmy. What are you talking about? That was just porn magazines look like? Ugh. Ugh. Crow just shrugging like a Chad. Just like he's like, yeah, I just let my wife do whatever she wants. Like just you know, I'm just gonna stand here and you just do whatever. Do your thing, babe. Do your thing. He's kind of in the sulfur pose there with the arms outstretched. Random thought, I want a Fear and Hunger character in the new Mortal Kombat. That'd be sick. Fungi Yowie would go insane. Yes, our Yowie lovers in the community are actually insane. So yes, you're right. How exactly did the illustration come about? Who was sitting in the hotel cuck chair? That's a good question. How did it come about? Maybe getting them gains. Yeah. Yeah. It's like that picture where it's like the guy on like a ritual circle and it's like me doing whatever my hot witch wife wants to do. It's like basically that. Probably Vitruvia. No, I think that's actually Vitruvia being conceived there. Because the book is talking about Vitruvia. So I think that's actually Vitruvia being conceived. So yeah, see, Fidushka, this is how we made you. Oh, could you? Oh man, the mating of two concepts would actually literally fry your brain. Wow. Oh. Any other lore questions you guys got? Rare was in the cuck chair, that's why they're dead and terminated. That would actually be funny, that Rare is like secretly in love with Grogoroth. Could be. That's why they're so tilted. Wouldn't it be paradox for a god of destruction to make new life? A little bit. Who is Vitruvia? Probably a new god. Just because her abilities are Dan's soul abilities. And the only soul abilities are ever new god ones. So it's more than likely she was a new god ordered by Sylvian to design humanity and then eventually design Alllmer. So probably a lizard new god is what I suspect. Oh, how much can you bench? Everything. Also a picture of Lagarde and Nilvan having sex to make girl. Oh, there probably is. That's why he dies, because he can't create on his own. Yeah. Not a question, but I think Vitruvia is a new god. Soul skills are passed on by new gods according to the first game, and that's how Dan has abilities. Exactly, yeah. Also, necromancy spells are Grogoroths, which are almost like creation. Yeah, so I think it's more of a metaphorical mating because Venushka has is in between life and death. That's why Venushka is the god of enlightenment, because in Fear and Hunger, enlightenment is the state of being both alive and dead. I think that's why Lagarde doesn't have a soul, because he's sort of personified that, being enlightened. Not enlightened Enki style, but actually enlightened, so. Never seen withdrawal effects from heroin catch up to the Termina characters. What happens? They just get really weak when that happens, so. Any idea where all the lizards are in Fear and Hunger 2? They are, well, they're deep down in the dungeon anyway, and there's not many left. So they could honestly be all dead by the time of Termina, so. Or at least deeper into the black. Do you think a lizard man would work with a human? They could. They definitely could. We see that Lizardman fell in love with a yellow mage at some point, so there's no reason why they couldn't work with humans. A resurrected person can become a new god? Don't know. People suspect so, but I don't know. I personally don't think so, but it's sort of hard to tell. Do you think we can turn Pinecone Pig into a god if we worship enough? Yeah, we could. We should definitely do that. Heroin withdrawal in Fear and Hunger is kind of like joy addiction in Lisa, but constant rather than something that comes and goes at random. Yes, yes. This is from the UK. Quick question. If you play as Dan, then who is Pocket Cat? Or is Pocket Cat pretty much canon as Dan and playing as him just wants the true story? No, so Dan becomes Pocket Cat during the story. So there was originally a Pocket Cat already there in Pre-Heval. That's the previous Pocket Cat, and then Dan becomes Pocket Cat. So, if werewolves respond to cycles of the moon and Rare as a moon god, would Fear and Hunger be equivalent to werewolves? Basically, yeah. You can get souls from ghouls, really? Well, yes, actually, because the souls are bound back to the body. The issue is they are mindless, so we don't know. It's not really clear what the exact mechanism is. Do you have to want to sit on the chair? If your soul is manipulated by another god, can you still become a new god? It's not very clear, so. Pocket Cat is either implied to be sort of species or someone who can just become since his face is a mask. Yeah, he's I liken him to a role being played by multiple actors. Pocket Cat is a story that's alive, so. What if instead of Fear and Hunger, it was beer and hamburger? I wouldn't mind that. Also in the Yellow King ending, knowing what new gods retire and become weak, that means Lagarde's peace was temporary and futile. Yeah, so if the god of Fear and Hunger was born, then Lagarde becoming a new god was only ever going to be a temporary thing anyway. So, yeah. Pinecone Pig, god of fear and cute, yeah. New god Percolator would be terrifying. It absolutely would be. Can you imagine him like 10 times as strong as he is now? A festival all over the world would be terrifying. Wonder why or what the previous Pocket Cat achieved when they passed on the mask to Dan. I suspect, but I don't have much evidence to back this up. My gut feeling is telling me that Rare wanted the girl to become the god of Fear and Hunger, is what I suspect. So if you give the girl to Pocket Cat, then that happens. He takes her down there. And now he's collecting heads in the festival, and he's like, well, I don't really want to collect heads and limbs. Let's hire somebody who can do that really well. So, Dan. Dan's really good at that. That's what I'm thinking. I haven't really sat down and had a good look at all his dialogue and broken down all the stuff about him in the first game. So that is just sort of more of a gut feeling than I want to say a proper theory at this point. But that's what I suspect. So, is the god a blood golem that became a new god? I think that he was a human. I don't think Darce's S ending happened. I don't think it did. But the one we fight in Termina is definitely a fake. It's not him. Controlled by him, sure, but it's more of a puppet than actually him. So, Isn't all of humanity manipulated by the old gods? They are responsible for all events, right? Oh, okay. So sorry. When I said manipulated, I meant like tainted by the old gods. So like how the guards are tainted by the black, or the cave dwellers are tainted by the darkness. Or like the sulfur cult, how they are sulfur god. They're scorched by the sulfur god. Yeah, it's not clear if somebody who has had their soul and body messed with can become a new god. It's fake. That's a take. They have to research that. Oh yeah, no, his body in Termina, in the bunker at least, is 100% a fake. Nashra straight up says it when you fight him. So after you beat him, Caligura as a new god. Brad as a new god, sinners as new gods. My desires for crossovers will not be sated. Pocket kept taking the girl to the depths on Rare's orders would be one hell of a double trick. I know, right? Ascending Lagarde looks like the red man in Mahab. Yes, they're all tortured and skinless. It's a little different though. It's about overcoming the body and sort of emerging from yourself as a butterfly. That's why we see the lizard skinning humans, because they want to help humans. We see the tormented one trying to elevate himself through that and failing. We see that happen to Lagarde through the process of rebirth. We see that happening to Sulfur. We see that happening to the priests. Would Alllmer ever forgive Darce's haircut? What's up with Moonless Guards? Did the guards do it with cave wolves? Yes, they did. I'm surprised by Lady of the Moon not being in Termina, as the game is heavily based on Rare. Yeah, there's no jellyfish in Termina, unfortunately. Darce's yee ass haircut. Also, when I said space and time were the same thing, I meant in real life that space and time are the same. The difference is arbitrary and based on our perception of reality. Okay. Oh. It's a common Taoist belief that the soul is inviolable and not even the greatest of gods can gleam its truths. Sulfur's pretty good at gleaming its truths. So I guess fear and hunger isn't Taoist. Lady of the Moon interaction probably got lost when Orange's drive died. If contestants were to become new gods, what do you think their titles would be? The same as their souls, usually. So, you know, Karen the Endless. Levi the... I've forgotten all their souls, actually. Caligura the Decrepit. The Decrepit one. Fear and Hunger really said that skin is overrated. Absolutely, yeah. Mao's Grogoroth. I am literally Grogoroth. Sorry, guys. Maybe all the guard needed was some good... No, he was special. Oh, New God Samari. What's hers? Samari the Radiant one. There you go. Karen the Endless monologuing. How much insight Nash has to offer on endings A and C, where he offers more? I think he ends up offering more on ending A, just because you can do most of ending... You can do almost like 99% of ending B and C while doing ending A. So technically, if you're talking about exclusive content, I think he ends up saying a lot more on ending A. So Mao is great, based in Gropilled. Any theories on Tanaka must die mode? Yeah. Everybody wants to kill Tanaka. He has a target painted on his back. Rare hates him. Tanaka the latent one. Yeah. I believe Stitches is corrupted by both Sulfur and Sylvian. Dan wasn't unsuccessful in restoring her body, but was unable to return her soul from the sulfur pit. I think Dan's sacrifice, it seems to be that you need to kill somebody in order to come back as a sulfur cultist. But Dan's sacrifice allowed her to come back. Because he sacrificed something for her, most likely his eye. Hope Samurai becomes playable because I think she's lacking a bit with her skills. I suspect even if she doesn't become playable, she'll still get her skills overhauled a little bit. Blood Sacrifice and Masturbation probably stay the same, because I don't know what else they sort of do what they need to do, but she'll probably get like one more for free. Maybe even Premonitions, actually. Premonitions basically works, and it's just a cut skill in the game, which isn't super useful, but yeah. Imagine playing Tanaka and Miro just sends an IRL assassin to hunt you for immersion. Naturalized is exactly the kind of party member that seems awesome at first, was actually quite limited by gameplay mechanics. Kinda. He can't die, so that's very useful. But then he just gets junked in half the endings anyway, so. What does Premonitions do? Whenever you sleep, there is a small cutscene that shows some events that can happen during the day. The more you play the game, the less useful it is. But it's quite useful when you're starting out, so. Mira said that she's on the list with Tanaka and Pav for the next few characters. Yeah, I imagine so. I reckon Tanaka's next because he's basically done, right? Or actually, no, probably Pav, actually. Pav is mostly done as well, but he doesn't have all the crazy bullshit that Tanaka needs to work, so. Okay, well, we might wrap up here, actually. It's been going for, geez, over 3 hours of just chatting, hey? Yeah, exactly. Force Miro to do Caligura. Miro, I will pay you $1 right now if you do Caligura. Cut skill from the Tanaka that was related to good looks. Yeah, it was like rugged good looks or something like that, with no idea of what it actually would do. Oh, okay, guys. Thank you very much for hanging out and chatting today. I didn't expect it to just be just chatting. But yes, thank you all very much for coming in. I appreciate it. Tomorrow we will actually play Fear and Hunger tomorrow. We will actually play Fear and Hunger. I do actually want to get ending... What was it? Ending A? And maybe even ending B, depending on how fast we can do that. So, it's a big $1, I know. I know, right? First stream I said all the way through. Oh, thank you. Chatting is ending A. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you all very, very, very much. And I will see you to... Wait. Last question. In your opinion, what do you think... What do you think all went into... Who do you think all went into logic? What do you mean? In your opinion, who do you think all went into logic? Best way to start my day, for real. Thank you. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it, guys. Ending A, nothing happened to the girl. She's alive and more. Exactly, yeah. Bye, Grogoroth. Thanks for taking over the stream for more, though. As in all the people that went into it? Who do you think went into it? Oh, okay. Olivia, definitely. And I think Abella helped. And August gets junked by Lagarde. And maybe Osar helps as well. So if I had to pick a party that actually went down to the bunkie, it would be Olivia, Abella, Osar. And I think that would be it. Yeah, those would be the ones. Was a Pocket Cat face cam? Yeah, maybe we can do that. That'd be funny, guys. All right, guys. I will see you